say it all over again.
There we go.
All right. Let me see. As opposed to what you guys said about me, you're not coming in hot. Let me see if I can figure out the volume situation.
We can also
here.
get closer.
Yeah.
That's a little bit louder too.
Turned up.
You want to tilt your mic up? That'll help you. No, just like tilt it. There you go. Yeah.
La, la,
Into
la, la, la.
this
There you go.
part.
Yeah.
How do we
Is that
sound?
better?
Yes,
it's
it's a
my
little
end.
better.
It's my end. I'm at 16.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm at 82, and that's much better.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, I shouldn't have cackled.
I'll
Bad
make it work.
timing.
Yeah. So before you push record, I watched some of the stuff from Austin. How was that? That was fun, right?
It was a blast.
Oh,
We had
yeah.
a super good
Super
time.
fun. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're putting together all the audio now because we did record it, and we're gonna try to release it in May, I think, for our 1 or 2 year anniversary. So
Nice.
it was super fun. Yeah, it was a blast. We'll do it all over again.
Yeah, Austin's a great city. You know, the good food. I saw you guys hit up that Terry Black's. That's amazing
Oh
Oh my
food
god,
there.
it was so good.
It
Yeah,
was so good. It was
Unreal.
life-changing brisket. Like
Yeah.
life-changing
I
brisket.
know, right?
We-
Because it's
Yeah.
like jet black, and you're like, is it burnt? It's like, oh my god, when they start cutting into it before they
Ugh.
put on your plate and all the
Yes.
juices and stuff, it's like, oh my god.
That moment when he cut into that brisket was like,
Yeah,
My
I'll
wife-
never forget
oh my
it.
goodness,
My wife
yeah.
has made a brisket once before, and he took the brisket out and dropped it on the cutting board, and it
jiggled.
jiggled. And she just points at it, and she's like, "Did you see the jiggle?"
It's jiggling, baby. Go ahead, daddy. Yeah. And once you get the bill, you're like, worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
didn't, I don't even know
we
if
were
we're paying
just like,
attention.
it's not cheap, but damn, it's good.
Well,
At least we were sharing.
And we're on vacation, so it was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
let's just
whatever.
add it to the. But we will say, so that our observation is that things in the States, or at least in Texas where we were, is a lot less expensive than it is here in Canada.
Yeah, it was like
I'm just
cheaper.
realizing how expensive it is to live up here.
Okay,
Cheaper
yeah,
than-
because
yeah.
I guess being from New Jersey, I was like, and going there in October during ACL, I was like, no, I gotta pick the down season to go to Austin, because probably when you guys going there, like right before the other thing that they have there,
South by Southwest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hotels are expensive, so we had to stay like in a Airbnb way off from the city and like take a Uber there every like time we want to do something.
Oh, we kind of
So
did that.
we kinda
too.
did that
We were
too.
in South Austin, yeah.
We were far.
we
We were in an
rented-
Airbnb pretty far away.
We rented a vehicle
fine.
though. Like we flew into Houston and then we drove to Austin, so we had a vehicle the entire time, which made it a lot easier. for
Yeah.
sure.
And what stinks is like once you leave, you're like out for the day, because there's like no point going back and forth with the Uber prices.
Totally.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there was no. Yeah.
Oh, the Uber prices. That
I
was
did
the
it
one thing.
once. I was
Holy
really
crap.
tired, and I took an Uber home by myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, I later I was like, we all have to go together because I can't afford to do that again. I
Right.
was like, that was a one-off.
Yeah, but that was also again South by.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just take a drink.
Yeah, you know,
made it work.
you
We made
don't
it
mind if I have a beer, right?
No, you're
No,
good.
I
Cool.
also have a beer.
Nice. I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it. You know, not too expensive. I'm having myself a Miller Lite, so nothing crazy. It is Sunday. It is Sunday where I am at right now. I don't know what day it is where you're at, but
It's Tuesday next week.
Yeah.
We should do the spiel. Spiel
Yeah,
time? Okay,
spiel time.
cool. Spiel time. So, podcast will open up. This will be usually about a 2-hour record. I know it's a little late on a Sunday, but we'll do our best to stay in time.
No problem.
Episode will be 90 to 100 minutes after editing. We do a break in the middle so you can bio and get some water or go to the bathroom. And so first 10 minutes will be just me and Celine talking. I'm just going to forewarn you. I'm going to talk about something a little heavy up top, but we'll make it light after. So one little heavy moment and then make it funny for the rest of the show.
Okay.
When you come on, it'll be a 20-minute interview. And the theme of which is Checkered Past, your history with ska music, how you got into it, first shows, first records, that kind of thing. We got a lot of questions on the Discord about puppets, so you probably have a lot to say about that.
Oh, no problem. I know quite a bit about puppets,
And then we talk Mephiskapheles for the bulk of the episode, probably 45 minutes. Just focusing on the 90s stuff this time around. I left off the newer EPs just because it's easier to talk about that stuff.
Okay.
We'll play a game.
Are we talking about the Demon demo before that, or not at all? Just going right to the first album?
We can talk about the Demon, however you're supposed to pronounce it. Yeah. But I don't have
we won't have
clips.
the songs
I don't have
queued up,
clips
but we can
for
for
it.
sure talk about it.
Yeah, 100%.
Great, because I don't know much about it either, so I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I was like,
it's not on streaming, so we try not to talk about stuff you can't stream because we realize people like to listen along.
Yeah.
So I try to stick to what's accessible.
Right.
And then we'll play a game at the end. If we have time, we'll answer some Discord questions, and then we wrap up.
Nice.
Any questions? And then last thing. The episode will come out on April
20th.
Yeah, nice. Where's my
They
calendar?
seem to be all about that date for some reason because they're currently touring right now in they're from New York. They have a date at the Bowery on the 20th, so I feel like they're obsessed with that date for some reason. They always have to play that Satan Stole My Weed song every time I see him live. There's two things they're really into: Satan and pot. So
yeah, they're about that life.
I like those two things.
Yeah, it's like girls, same.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I'm like, me too.
April 25th. So
okay,
close. Missing Hitler's birthday by 5 days.
Yeah. Getting heavy already.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about.
Yeah,
my birthday's coming up. Let's talk about it. Anything that in terms of promotion, we're promoting the podcast YouTube channel. Is that what we're going to promote?
Absolutely, yes. And I will say some stuff we have going on there right now, and guests that we'll have on in the future. Well, I don't know about the time it happens, but I will be mentioning that we have some guests on our podcast going forward to promote what they do, much like what you guys did for us.
Fantastic.
Woo.
Okay. Is there anything you don't want us to talk about?
Trump, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. We were doing Trump.
We actually were just making Trump bits 20 minutes ago.
Like before you jumped on. So we got it out of our
sad.
system. Yeah. Both sides.
So sad. So sad. But no, you can bring them up if you want.
Both sides.
So that was it.
Your greatest,
that was it.
Your favorite president, me, is getting arrested someday.
Me. Wow. He's a horrible person, but he is the things he says is funny, even if it's
it's funny if you don't.
I'm not saying whether it's intentional or not.
Taken out of context, you're just like, that's hilarious. Actually,
it seems it's funny if you don't live here.
Good
point.
Nobody's making fun of Danielle Smith right now, and so
I made a meme about her holding a banana just the other day.
Oh, that was pretty good, though. That was pretty good. Sorry, Danielle Smith is our
Trump,
our conservative premier for a province.
Oh,
she's a
just
nightmare.
awful.
She is awful. Okay, I got to research that.
Sucks.
I didn't think anyone could be any worse than what we got or had, I should say.
She
might have again.
to get there. She's really trying to get there.
As I like to remind people, the Proud Boys are from Canada. That is a Canada thing.
Yeah,
we're not great.
We have our own bullshit here.
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson is Canadian.
I didn't even know Canadians were racist. That's crazy.
We'd like to pretend we're not.
Yeah.
I hate black people, eh? Is that what they sound like that too? Or...
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh my god.
This is gonna be a good episode.
What stolen land?
Yeah.
All right. So I just basically sit back and let you guys do your introduction till you introduce me, right?
Correct. For about 10 minutes.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay. We ready to go? We're rolling.
Ready to rock and roll.
Ready on your side?
Yeah.
All right. On this episode, we delve into the mightiest New York band with maximum perversion. That's right, we say God bless Satan with the one and only Mephiskapheles on Checkered Past, the Ska'd cast. What up, Checkerheads? Welcome to Checkered Past, the Ska'd cast with Celine and Rob, the show where a Prince Buster of Darkness, guitar, and an Old Scratch Perry explore the history and impact of a different band each episode and hope to bring in new fans along the way. I'm Rob, and this is my sister and co-host, Celine.
We did a double record. I understood your last one, but what was the second thing you said?
Old Scratch Perry.
I don't get it.
Old Scratch is the devil.
Oh, I didn't know that's another name for the devil, actually.
It is. Yeah.
Okay, so just different
so
names.
Instead of Lee Scratch Perry.
Not Beelzebub. Well, there's, Beelzebub.
Right.
Satan.
Lucifer.
Would you say?
Old Scratch.
Old Scratch.
Oh, you froze.
Prince of
Buster
Darkness.
Prince of Darkness. That was a fun one.
That is a fun one. I guess it goes on and 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 on. Satan.
How are you doing?
Good.
This is 2 records. We did 2 records today.
Yeah, we're double recording. We had a McDonald's break. There was the chicken Big Macs were tried. Nah. You guys said I
too
kept it
rigid.
Classic. Yeah,
Too
Joey.
rigid.
Joey,
Engineer Joey.
Too rigid.
I had to chime in on the
No, I
Big
understand.
Mac.
Too rigid.
Too rigid.
It's not how you want to describe a Big Mac is rigid.
Yeah,
that's not what they're going for.
Yeah,
and they're like pucks. They're not like the McChicken. It's like a little like puck thing.
It's a strange size.
I don't know what they did.
Patty. I don't know what they did, but
I feel like they could.
It's not it. It's not.
They just shouldn't have committed to the Big Mac. I think they should have just had like a different, fun chicken sandwich. Because I think making it into the Big Mac structure, like the architecture of the burger, that's why I think the rigidness had to happen. I bet you they tried it in a less rigid way and it like wouldn't hold its structure. McDonald's is a very like structure based fast food joint. You know what I'm saying?
I like that you're here to defend McDonald's.
Everyone shits on McDonald's. I'm here to defend the little
literally
guy.
The little guy.
Yeah,
little golden arch.
Yeah, those little chicken nuggets.
We lost our guest. Oh, they're probably coming back. That's okay. This is gonna get cut. We're taking a break already. like 5 minutes in there. I gotta take a break.
Maybe from being on camera. Maybe they just wanted a camera break.
That's okay. This is fun.
Body break.
Oh,
we're good.
It froze for some reason. I don't know why.
It's all good.
If we ever end up doing this with no camera, that can also be a possibility. So that's okay. The fun of doing live podcasting or like doing it. Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. Fun of recording it without cutting it.
All right. Cool.
Cut man.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep going. Let me fix some stuff over my end.
No worries.
Alrighty. Do you want to pick it up where we left off? Let's pick it up where we left off.
Yeah. Pick it up.
Woo!
All right, I'm going to talk about something.
Yeah,
I'm going to get real. Okay, this is it's a little tough thing to say. Okay, we usually are a silly podcast. I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes just talking about something that's near and dear to my heart because it's very upsetting. So there's a goalie for, I don't know, fucking San Jose or some shit I don't pay attention to hockey. James Reimer, who recently said that he, for religious reasons, refuses to wear the Pride jersey on the ice during like a Pride supporting. I think it was like one round or one period even. It wasn't even like a whole thing. Said like his religious beliefs prevent him from wanting to support it. And, he tried to put out this statement, but, the only thing I can see when I see stuff like that is, ew, gay people make me feel bad. Like, I think it's yucky and I don't want to support it. It doesn't matter if you have a religious reason or not, but not supporting it and not putting it on is bigoted and homophobic.
Yeah.
No matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk about my history with that kind of stuff. So it really is, I'm a little shaky in my voice even talking about this. So growing up in St. Paul, I played hockey for 8 years. So this is just a little trigger warning, I guess, for people for this kind of stuff. Without putting too fine a point on it, my nickname in school from elementary all the way through high school was faggot. And that was what I was called throughout my playing hockey. Skate like a faggot, you look like a faggot, you sit like a faggot. I got a lot of that. That casual homophobia is very common in small towns. And in the guy who I'm talking about from the Sharks, he's from a small town in Manitoba. where the thing is like small town hockey in Canada is lionized. Like hockey is serious. It's not something you take lightly. You don't have fun playing hockey. You do it because you're serious about it. It's I don't know, it's like gladiators kind of a thing. Like
It's like football in the US a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The culture, and so this happens and so this is an early age, like 6 years old. People were saying that kind of stuff. And like that never stopped. And I stopped playing hockey in junior high because like I just couldn't put up with that kind of verbal abuse anymore. When I got to high school, that didn't stop. People would give me death threats. I remember coming home from an Easter thing or whatever, and there was like a porno magazine on my doorstep that said, "You fucking faggot, I'm coming to kill you." Someone came and salted the word on my lawn. And it was like a lot of that stuff. And I don't know what causes people to be hurtful. And I don't care that they would have thought I was gay. That doesn't matter. I think the point is that they were using it as a weapon to hurt me. And that this like, and it's not even casual homophobia, this like outright homophobia where that's not welcome. So let's imagine a world where I am gay. And that's what they were saying. Like that, they just thought I was, and they knew that I was that. And because they thought that way, they thought hurtful things about me. And those people grow up to be this guy, right? And this is just supporting this idea that you're homophobic and you're mean-spirited and you're cruel to gay people. You're gatekeeping queer people from coming into the sport. And like, and I don't talk about this on the podcast a lot, but I've gone through journeys about my queerness, sexual orientation. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't talk a lot about it because it's not important in the grand scheme of things. I think people are having harder times with it. And in the end, I'm just another like white guy and I'm doing whatever I'm talking about. And I probably am not even the right ambassador to talk about this stuff. But I just want to come out and say, like, this is my story. This is the experience I had with small town hockey. And this was 15 years ago. It's been a long time. Like, more than that, 18 years ago. And that's still happening.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, you can come around on it however you want to put it. But I am just still furious that we still live in a world where we see
like
this kind of
anything
stuff.
that doesn't fit into like a very like you know, binary, like heteronormative, cisgendered, like very, you know, straightforward version of masculinity is seen as like gay or like otherness, and that is seen as like bad or less than. It makes them feel some type of way about themselves, and they project it onto other people, and it's like fucked up. But or just even like from an acceptance standpoint, right? Like, and I'm not empathizing with him at all, but it's like if he was to wear that, I'm sure the group of people that he surrounds himself, you know, would think some type of way. And so I don't know.
But it also makes you feel guilty to be off the binary. And I think that's how I've felt my whole life, is that I either was a man and I was behaving masculine the way they wanted me to behave, or I wasn't.
Yeah.
And
there's like nothing.
There's nothing in between.
No, there's no gray area that exists there.
And I think that that's what made it really hard to grow up in that environment.
100%.
So I know I talked about it on my Discord. I didn't really want to put this on Twitter because I didn't think that was the right place for it, but that's something I just wanted to talk about. So.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and I know a lot of people can like relate. It means a lot to share people's experience and your own experience.
Yeah. So
it's
anyway,
important.
Putting it out there.
Yeah, I'm lucky that I got to get out of St. Paul for high school.
Fucking so
Junior
lucky
high
to
was
get
rough.
out of it,
I was called like the D word, and like whatever. Had my own experience building that I won't get into and take away from your story, but
yeah,
it ain't easy.
It is
being in a small town or Alberta, but anywhere. I'm sure this exists at every single place, unfortunately.
So surround yourself with good people.
Yeah,
I guess that's the best thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Serious time is over.
Yeah.
Now it's time to have fun. And I'm going to introduce our guest, and he's going to bring all the fun.
And puppet
it's
time.
On your shoulders.
Yeah, sorry, you're gonna.
We're absolutely thrilled to introduce
No
our
pressure.
guest. It's the host of the YouTube channel and biweekly podcast Puppet Perspectives. Gerald's here. Hi, Gerald.
Jarrell. Hello,
Jarrell.
everybody.
My bad.
Jarrell.
I'm sorry. I knew that. I was saying it to myself before we came on. Can I do this again so I can cut this part?
Take 2 and action.
We're absolutely thrilled to introduce our guest. He's the host of the YouTube channel and bi-weekly podcast Puppet Perspectives. Jarrell is here. Hi, Jarrell.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to my talking. And I just want to say I really appreciate being on my third favorite ska themed podcast. But
Hey, we'll take
my number one favorite Canadian ska podcast.
Thank
Yes.
you. That's all we
Perfect.
need. We'll take it.
That is what we're
That's what
always.
we're going
We're
for.
number one in Canada. And number 3 is up.
And number 3
Honestly,
in your heart.
that's up.
And number 3 in your heart.
Nothing wrong with bronze. Nothing wrong with bronze. That's
No.
what they say. At least that's what my little league coach used to tell me when I would strike out in t-ball. But that's a different story. How you guys doing? How you doing, everybody? Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate that. And
We appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. And we're stoked. It's going to be a fun episode.
I am a puppet, and I do like ska music. But
Oh, yeah. I guess have we mentioned
I
that?
have we. I
we
don't
brought
know if
that
people have
kids
noticed.
couldn't
Well, I guess,
see.
yeah, as you
The
can see from this
stations.
audio
We are
format,
talking to
we
a
are
puppet.
talking to a puppet.
Yeah, you can hear it in my voice, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of just assumed people
sporting
knew there's like a fuzzy.
some specs. Got
fuzzy
the headphones on.
We
I
are
like
the
tie.
we are the. I'm from New Jersey, so we like to be called the Felt Americans. If you guys can, puppet is
Felt.
our word, but I'll let you guys. I'll allow it tonight.
Felt Americans.
Felt Americans. Felt,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Very felt.
So let's start with our first question. Tell us your checkered past, your ska origin story.
Oh man, you guys gonna have to take a seat because this is gonna be the most intricate story of ska that you guys heard from any of your previous co-hosts,
So excited.
or should I say guests? So,
Yes.
so back in 1994, punk rock music was like running rampant. It was like all the rage, thanks to Green Day, of course. You guys know that, and the Offspring. I would say the Offspring, if they were like the gateway to punk rock. Rancid for me was like the entire first floor of the punk rock duplex. They were the band I got into like punk rock music, and I'm like, oh, I love this band. It was the album Let's Go. You guys are familiar with their second album with all that. So I bought that album because my friend had it. Then I bought the first album after that, and it's even harder. I love that even more. So I'm like, oh, punk rock is great, 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 great. So I would say sometime in summer of 1995, I'm watching MTV, and whoever the host is was like, oh, we got a new song from Rancid. It's called Time Bomb. And then the song comes on, and I was like, that sounds weird. So I go
Weird in a good
to
way.
I go to school, and I'm like, hey, friend that got me into Rancid, they have a new song coming out. And he's like, yeah, it's Time Bomb. I'm like, it sounded weird. And he's like, yeah, it's ska. I'm like, what's that? He's like, oh, it's like the cars go like like that. Like, that's what he said. That's ska music. I'm like, well, I don't like that. So later on, the album comes out. All the gatekeeping punk rockers hate that album. For some reason, it's now everyone's favorite Rancid album. But I'll tell you guys what. Back in 1985, if you were listening to Rancid prior to that, that was your least favorite album. So anyway, I go over his house one day, and I'm like, what's this band I keep hearing about, Operation Ivy? I hear like a couple guys from Rancid from there. And he's like, yeah, you should listen to the CD. I have it right here, the cassette. He puts in the cassette. The first song we all know is, Knowledge. I'm like, yeah, that's okay. Then the second song comes on. And then I'm like, and then as soon as it starts playing, he's like, it's ska. I'm like, what? Okay, so I don't like, I'm like, I don't like this. And then so I mean, I wasn't really into that album at the time. So then a little bit later, I'm over his house again, and do you guys remember when that record label Epitaph Records would put out those Punkorama compilations?
Oh yeah, we remember
Yeah.
Punkorama.
Yeah, so they had the first one out, and he had and I'm looking at the CD, and then it's like, oh, there's a Ranch song I never heard called, I Want to Riot, and he's like, oh, you want to hear it? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so punk because it's got like the word riot in. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, doom, 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 doom. It comes on, and then he's like, my jaw drops. He's like, it's ska. I'm like, oh, god damn it. So I'm like, fuck ska
those
music. I hate
horns
ska
again.
music. Blah blah blah. So like, so the rest of that fall, I'm like always like, I hate ska music, I hate it, and it's on this whole rant about it. There was like some bands that would do like battle of the bands. You ever had that in high school where bands would like
Yeah.
get and the first band was called the Ska Skink Redemption, and I
But
actually, as soon as they started playing, I'm like, oh, like arms folded, ska music is terrible, So sometime in early '96, I'm on my anti-ska like rant at school, something like that, and then this other kid comes up to me, hears me saying, and he's like, "How do you hate ska music, but you like the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones?" Because I was listening to that album, Don't Know How to Party, for the past year and a half before that. But when he said that, I'm like, that's not ska music. That's like rock music with horns. He's like, no, dude, that's ska music. Like that song, Someday I Suppose, that's ska. And if you guys saw the movie like, I don't know, Scanners
Basketball?
or
Oh no.
even
Scanners. Scanners.
yes, or like Usual Suspects, that was my
Okay.
reaction. Glass drop, mouth open, head exploded. I'm like, I've been listening to Scott all this time and didn't know it. So I literally did a complete 180 on ska music and started going, like, listening to a little bit more. Right about that time that Goldfinger album came out, that first one. So I got into it right in time, and I was like, ska music is my thing now. So I'm
Dang,
sure,
you're like,
I'm
actually,
sure
I love it.
yeah, so I'm sure everyone else was like instantly in love with it. I was the complete opposite. Like I could not stand it because the band I loved so much was like doing it. And then I
Are you
turned.
just still pretty critical? Like, do you find yourself pretty critical of ska to this day? As in, I'm saying I am also very critical of ska.
I guess what happened as the trend. Well, I guess I should say I got into it before it got trendy, but I didn't get off of it when it got trendy. I was still going to ska shows, and then once like the big boom happened, I was happy for it. Like I'm like, oh, everyone's listening to the
Yeah.
same thing I'm listening. That's cool.
I mean, it's not
And
so
then
bad being trendy.
Mhm. It ain't
I
so
walked into
bad
that
being
one. I'm sorry.
trendy.
Yeah.
And everyone who
So
looks like me is my friend.
yeah. So they were actually my first ska show, February 3rd, 1997, which was also the first time I smoked pot. So that's why
That
that date
makes
is
sense.
instilled in my mind, and where I freaked the hell out. But on the
Oh
good side,
no.
I saw Real Big Fish and Goldfinger together, and it was like a pretty awesome show because at the time, shows were a little more intimate. There was no against getting on stage and jumping off the stage. The barriers weren't there. So, kids, if you weren't around in 1990s, late 90s, you missed out.
You did.
Yeah.
The
So,
Wild West.
yeah, that was it. It's. I don't think I hate ska music now. I still like current bands. I'll go check out some shows here and there. I'll still skank mildly. I won't go as hard as I used to go because I'm glad there's no video of me like hardcore skanking like in the late '90s because I probably look ridiculous. But no,
Nah.
but okay, yeah. Thank you, Slim,
It's.
for
I mean,
validating it.
I'm sure I did too, but like, no. I feel like if you're like enjoying yourself at a ska show dancing, you don't look silly. You belong and you're having a good time. You
Yeah, that's
know.
really true. I would go to I went in my dorm when like my roommate would leave. Like I would just put on some like Voodoo Glow Skulls or like what have you, and just like hardcore skank to that or Fishbone or what have you.
It's
And
fun.
luckily,
I
no one was
love.
there to see it.
That's what kind of sold me on ska music is being able to like skank at ska shows. I was like, this is fun and great. I love this.
I will be honest. If I was like doing some skanking and someone walked in, I'm like, oh, it's just exercising.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
High
do
knees,
anything.
high knees,
Yeah,
high
yeah. It's
knees.
just
Squats.
yeah, yeah. So
What are you listening to these days?
mostly loungecore music, a little bit. But for ska music, for new bands, hmm. This band called 100 Gex that everyone's talking about has a
Oh
couple ska songs
yeah,
in there. They have a couple of they're a
the new
hyper pop
album.
group. Yeah,
They have some hyper
I'm digging that.
ska.
I
Yeah,
am
which is
You're loving it,
loving it.
Rob.
Loving
Megan?
it.
Yeah.
Listen to it
yeah,
3 times in a row on the day it came out.
It's
Cannot
a little
get
abrasive
enough
on
of
my
it.
brain and ears, but I do appreciate it. I respect it.
Oh, so
yeah,
good.
dumbest girl in the world. That's a good
$1 million.
song. And then what we're talking about when that I lost my tooth again song. It's like, wow, this is like some like which I'm probably gonna say on our review because we do album reviews on our podcast. Definitely, that's like what I would consider Nickelodeon ska, quote unquote,
Ha!
because it's so like circusy and carnival like. But that was what Nickelodeon was like playing when ska was popular. When you watch, did anyone watch Nickelodeon in the late '90s when they
Oh
were
yeah.
all about
Oh
that?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
Two Tone Army was the theme too.
Yeah, that was a song. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so much. So what about the podcast? How did that all come together? Slash the
Well,
show.
I
Yeah.
started doing podcasting in the mid 2010s,
Oh, you
and
were on it.
yeah, I was on it right then, trying to figure out what we're gonna do. Had different names, had guests on, so it took off right away from my perspective when I started. Where we had the interview with the lead singer from that group, that's King Missile, the Detachable Penis song.
Okay.
We had him on, so
Oh,
that
yeah.
was cool.
That's fun.
Interviewed some people like Aaron Barrett from Rubik Fish, and
That's fun.
the band we're gonna be talking about today. Got to interview them, and
That's
when they opened
rad.
for Less Than Jake, so you can check all that out on our YouTube channel, Puppet
Fun.
Perspectives. So I've been doing it for a few years, trying to figure out what we want to do until finally we decide to hone in on the Puppet Perspective theme, and that's what we do now, where we not only talk about albums, we talk about TV shows, we talk about movies. I like to say we do all things movies, music, media, and more. So if you
And
check out
puppets
our
on
new
top
stuff,
of it.
puppets on top of it. So yeah,
That's fun.
there's not a lot of puppet podcasts out there, so we figured
No.
we'd corner the market.
I gotta ask, what are the other puppet podcasts that you're aware of?
There's got to be a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of them are just either talking about like puppeteering,
Right.
or they
Yes.
yeah. So
It
it's
is.
not like
I have a friend who just started like getting into puppeteering. She's like it's quite intricate, and like making your own puppet. It's so impressive. It's a pretty like interesting art, and I feel like it's kind of having a resurgence right now. I know it sounds
Yeah.
like I'm joking, but I'm not kidding. I feel like there's like puppets are happening right now.
I agree. All they want us to do is like teach people about their ABCs or do something completely raunchy. There's no in between. So it's
I'm
nice
always
to have
happy if there's
yeah.
a puppet around. I'm immediately in a better mood.
Yeah, we like to bring joy when we can, or
What are
complain
your,
about music.
What are your puppet influences?
Oh,
Oh man, that's gotta obviously be the great Jim Henson is right up there.
hell
You know,
yeah.
paved the way for all of us to at least get on the camera. Yeah, it's not a.
I have a puppet
I would
tattoo.
say like even I'm not too keen on his comedy, but Jeff Dunham is, you know, kind of like out there for the comedian side of
Of
it.
course. Yeah.
I would just like to see once where like it's not like the puppet is the second banana to like the human, you know. It's
You
always
don't want him
seemed
to
to
be
be that way.
the B2 to the B1.
Right. We got to have something
hell
going
does
like
that
that
mean?
someday.
I don't know, like bananas and pajamas. I guess they're not
Did you make
puppets.
another bananas
Yeah,
and
I'm always
pajamas
trying to bring them
reference?
up. I'm always trying to bring them up.
That's
Always.
too
They go-
many.
going
Twice
hand
is
in
too
hand.
many.
Yeah.
What do you feel? How do you feel about like Baby Grogu, like animatronics taking the puppet space?
Oh, well, growing up in the 80s, I love my practical effects. So compared to I don't know if actual Yoda is like his descendant or like relative, something like that. But when you go to like the first three Star Wars episodes, no CGI for me. Gotta have
No.
the puppet on there. Gotta
It's
have
so
him
much
walking,
better.
being cute. Yeah,
It ages so much better than the CGI.
exactly.
How do you feel about like a Chuck E. Cheese?
Oh,
It's like
I
a
thought you were gonna say.
mascot.
I thought we were gonna go to Chucky, the actual doll, but Chucky.
Yeah,
could go
that's
there
just
too.
what-
Like, I'm talking
Um,
about full animatronic.
that's a
yeah.
mascot, right? Mascot.
No, it is an
animatronics.
animatronic.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
animatronics.
I like it. I can still play Five Nights at Freddy and not piss my pants. Or actually, I'm not wearing pants right now, but you know.
How about
Piss
Poppy
floor.
Playtime?
What the hell's that?
So my kids like that a lot. The what's that
Huggy
thing called? The
Wuggy.
blue thing, Huggy Wuggy, and the
Huggy
Kissy
Wuggy.
Missy,
I have
all
no
that
idea
stuff.
what you're talking about.
Okay, let's talk about this.
What is
Are we gonna
it?
do it?
This is a fun
gonna do
debate.
it?
What
Okay.
is
Let's talk about
it?
it. So here's the
What?
thing that happened with YouTube
Okay.
a few years ago, and this happened right when my kid was at the right age for it. There was all these survival horror games that came out
Scary.
kind of around the same time that were all based around like children's properties.
Okay.
And YouTube was failing to catch that they were not appropriate for children. And so they were showing up on the kids' YouTube channels.
Okay.
And
That's
so
crazy.
all of a sudden, all these kids were hyper aware of scary video games. So
And then
Five
they
Nights at
like
Freddy's
them?
is one, Among Us is another.
Oh.
Poppy Playtime, and now Rainbow Friends, which is a Roblox game. Those are all basically the same. And so
But they're not that scary.
So Poppy Playtime is like a horror game about a bunch of toys that chase you.
Oh, that's
and
scary.
they're like terrifying to look at.
That's too scary for me.
But yeah, their character names are like Huggy Wuggy, Kissy Missy. There's some
And
kind
they're
of
scary.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they're really scary.
So I'm sharing
That's
a picture.
horrifying. Huggy Wuggy is horrifying. 0 out of 10 Ska'd Daddy.
You're showing the pictures with all the teeth, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, really scary. They're Kissy Wissy isn't much better.
Kissy Wissy Missy.
I hate this.
Yeah, they're
Well,
all
you should-
terrifying looking.
You should Celine, you should play the game like with the lights out while you're on acid.
Never. That sounds. I would never come back
And look,
from that.
they
that
sell
will be the end
plush
of me.
characters of these freaking things. It's
Yeah,
so
that's what. And children like this, but it was
Yes.
intended for adults.
Yes.
Yeah, they
I
sell the
don't
plush.
like that.
They sell the plushies too, and that's what my kids wanted. They are 7
Oh my
and 5.
god.
So
Yeah,
they
my
so they
kids-
have they
And
have the
love it.
dolls.
They just
and they love it. They watch it
They
over and
love
over.
it. It's pretty
They go, "Look,
scary.
Look, he's bleeding. Blah blah blah. So,
Look, and they're like, ha ha ha.
desensitize them early. That's what I always say.
Kids are like that. Well, like, yeah,
They just-
Rob's kid loves Among Us, and loves like taking them apart and their little bones and stuff. But this is scarier than Among Us. This is like way.
You have them
scarier
watching
than
The
Among
Last
Us.
of Us already too.
All done.
Oh really?
That's
kids
too
Oh no,
scary
watching
for
it?
me.
he's not watching it.
I'm
He'd be
really-
bored.
I'm really scared of mushrooms. It's too scary for me.
My kid doesn't get scared of a lot of things, but he does get bored of non-animated things.
that
Yeah,
aren't
yeah.
like
You gotta,
zany.
Yeah.
we gotta get them. We gotta get them out of the cartoons. We're in the same way. Try to put on Beetlejuice, something like that. They're like, this isn't a cartoon. I don't want to see this. That's not how they actually
Yeah.
sound. But you get my drift.
Home Alone was
Oh,
was a
yeah.
hit because
Home
it was very
Alone.
cartoony. So
Right,
he was
right.
able to get into Home Alone.
I feel like
A
our
lot of
kids are the
people
exact
falling
same.
down.
Yeah, no
That's it.
doubt. Yeah, very similar interests. Well, 7.
They
7 and
must.
7.
How hard does your kid laugh to see Marv step on broken glass and fall into this on his?
Like
on
so
his ass?
hard. Like
Yeah, I'm like, that's not funny. That really
yeah,
hurts. And I should know.
he's a big fan of slapstick, mime, like just anybody getting hurt, falling down. He's a real like
Yeah.
connoisseur of like the French comedy.
Try to
He's
get them into the
amazing.
Three Stooges, but if it's in black and white, they kind of aren't interested. But
We check out, yeah.
100 checkered out, yeah.
Checkered out.
100%.
yeah, we got to keep these Scott puns going. We only got
I
2
know.
so
we've
far.
gotta- yeah, I know. We're weak.
So we decided on Mephiskapheles as the band to talk about today. So what is your history with that band?
Yeah.
Again, it's goes back to being young and how things used to be. So
Yep.
I heard always that they were like a satanic ska band, so that intrigued me. And we used to have these record stores. I don't know if you have them where you are, but they had a store called Tower Records here in the States.
It's called HMV up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had something similar.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah, so hipsters, well, I guess hipsters now, they go there and go to vinyl and just look for stuff. But they had like when ska got popular, they actually had a ska punk section, which was like in the back corner of the store. So I'm thumbing through there and I see the album cover and it's God Bless Satan. I'm like, that's the most blasphemous thing I
yeah.
ever heard. And I gotta have it.
Hell yeah.
So-
yeah.
Gotta have it.
So this is what I'm talking about. Back then we had to gamble. No Spotify, no way to
Yep.
hear stuff on the radio. You had to take a risk and pay for something that you had an album that you have never heard before.
That
And I have
album
to
cover
say,
is very good.
yeah, I think people do that now. They go to record stores just like look at album covers, like, oh, that looks cool, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
But sometimes we do it we had to do it like that, and it's like you take the gamble and you lose, you gamble and you lost, which is a lyric to one of the songs on this album on this thing. But, so I bought it, and it ended up being one of my favorite bands ever. I must say, it didn't sound like I was expecting it to. I thought it would be like guar with horns, something like that. But we'll get into
Yeah,
what they actually
totally.
sound like. But so I was in love with it. I would play it constantly and try to get other people into it. My parents are pretty religious, so I was afraid to. Although they would like the jazz aspect of the band, but I
Yeah.
thought that once they get an idea of the lyrics, they would turn them off. So I have not played it for them yet, but we'll talk about it. Maybe the baby boomers might be into this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
As
Minus
long,
the Satan.
if they get an instrumental of it anyway.
They're just joking about the Satan stuff, right?
Yeah, but when you come
Right?
to
And weed's
Christians, they don't joke
legal.
around it. Yeah,
No, they really don't like that kind of stuff. They don't, putting the Lord's name in vain isn't smiled upon.
but
think
when I
that's why I
interviewed him,
like-
I had to ask him who thought of that title. That was brilliant, and
Yeah.
they divulged who had the idea of it. And I what I really love about the band is that they had all the instrument, the different members of the group playing. They have like 8 or 9 guys in the band, and that's right, Tower Records. I actually saw it my first time seeing them. I bought the ticket. They had the headline show. It was $6.66 for a ticket. But since I bought it from Tower Records and Ticketmaster, had to charge their fee, ended up coming until $8.
I think it's interesting because, like, just the whole Satan as kind of like a theme and like an aesthetic as well kind of has been popularized recently, but I feel like Mephiskapheles was doing it when it wasn't like on trend at all, which is rad because it is cool as hell. And I've always been like Satan stuff is cool, but I feel like
Yeah.
they were like really out on a limb there, like by themselves doing it.
They were like, I was into Satan before it was cool.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Now everyone's like Satan this and Satan that, Baphomet
Satan
this and Baphomet that.
The Satan purists over here,
The
Satan
Satanic
purists.
Panic. There is like like another round of Satanic Panic happening again right now, like with the Lil Nas X and that unholy song, like the Sam Smith. Like people are just like, I've seen it like on Twitter and shit where they're
It's
like
TikTok. This sounds like TikTok.
this was on Twitter,
Oh, yeah.
man. It's because I click on it. I realized I'm also engaging with it by like reading it. I'm like, look at these fucking idiots. But people are like really like in Lil Nas X, they're just like Satan is within him. Like, look at this. Don't you see? Like this is Satan. Like this is Satan. And like they have deals with devils and like they sold their soul to the devil. And this is Satan worship. They really
Meanwhile,
believe it. There's huge.
Meanwhile, they
droves.
watch that video of Lil Nas X pretending to skateboard. And they're like, look at this Satan.
I think it was when he was doing a lap dance on the devil that they were upset about.
So they forgot that he's also kind of a dumbass and he does silly things all the
Yeah,
time.
he's being a troll. He's a fun little internet troll.
I
He
love
knows
Lil
how to piss people
Nas X,
off. It's
but
amazing.
he's constantly being silly.
Oh yeah,
More than he's
Yes.
being serious.
just like Satan, both they're the
just like
same.
Satan, a silly
Yeah.
little guy.
Satan
Silly
was a
guy
silly little
just
guy.
knows how to party.
Yeah.
We'll never
Alright,
turn on a
next-
lap dance.
Oh, who's our favorite? Oh, Tim Curry in Legend. That's my favorite devil iteration in media.
Cuphead.
Cuphead devil.
The Cuphead devil is my favorite devil. They do that animation thing where he goes into his eyeball and it's a axe cutting up the cup and then pulls it back. It's the best piece of animation.
Or
I've
him
ever
from
seen.
the Powerpuff Girls.
Him from the Powerpuff Girls is like a top 3 devil.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have a
One of my
top tier
favorite.
devil?
Al Pacino wasn't bad. Anyone that
Yeah.
can
Actually,
manipulate,
yeah.
Devil's Advocate.
Hell yeah.
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 He was good.
Very good devil.
That's a good devil.
Little Nicky. Who is the devil in Little Nicky?
I hate to
Yeah.
ask Joey. Does Joey have a devil?
I'm just waiting for Borat to come out as Mephisto in the.
Borat.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Sacha
Yeah, he's gonna
I
be
thought you meant
Mephisto.
this-
Yeah, I was like, what is a devil in the Borat movies?
He's gonna be Mephisto in the MCU.
Oh,
so I'm pretty
okay.
excited
That's
about that. That might be
Oh,
pretty
That's
fun.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was really
Nerd
thought-
alert.
Yeah, I was like,
Nerd alert! Nerd alert!
nerd alert. Yeah, you
Man,
got
how
it.
many
You
times
got
are you gonna
it.
get called a nerd today?
Nerd
Joey?
alert.
That's fine.
I love this nerd alert. Yeah.
Are we ready to enter the time, Skasheen?
All right,
do
let's
it.
take it back.
All right. We take the time, Skasheen, back to 1808. The The sources that I pulled for this were from my favorites, Discogs, All Music, and a lot of what I pulled was from Mark Wasserman's Skaboom, because he did a oral history where he interviewed Mephiskapheles. And I did a lot of stuff from there. It was very good. So the time ska machine takes us back to Germany in the year 1808, when playwright Johann Goethe, I don't know how to pronounce that, his last name, dramatized the life of German Renaissance alchemist Johann Faust in his play Faust. In this story, the titular Faust is dissatisfied with his life as a scholar, which he is not sated intellectually or physically. He falls into depression and in his darkest hour calls to the devil himself to give him what he desires. The devil's servant enters the picture and strikes a bargain with Faust. He will give him all the magic of the devil for several years, after which Faust must relinquish his soul to Satan. The servant's name? Mephistopheles. Fast forward to 1990, with the death of another soul, the New York hardcore band Shaved Pigs. Guitarist Brendan Brendog Tween and drummer McCall the Virgin Reich, they all have awesome ska names.
Have awesome names.
Immediately wanted to start a band, and since the New York ska scene was in its nascent fertility, decided that that was the way to go. They were heavily influenced by the Boilers, the Scofflaws, and the skinhead culture of the time. Brian Underpants Martin was up next on the keys.
Fucking Underpants Martin.
He's a keyboard player. Keyboard player fucking rocks on Scofflaws.
He was the one that said he thought of the name. He was the one that told me that he thought of the name of the debut album, but go on.
Sweet.
He brought in a distinctly dirty, self-taught sound that was heavily steeped in skinhead culture. Trinidad expat Andre Worrell came up next, who, after watching a rehearsal, decided to start penning words to early tracks such as Doomsday, Saba, and Rank-and-File. So here's a quote. The one thing I can definitely say is we are not influenced by third wave ska. We weren't listening to any of that. And still to this day, there's definitely some third wave stuff I like, but I was never taken by it. So by 1991, they originally operated under the name of Scatterbrains. S-K-A, Scatterbrains.
Much less Satan-y.
But quickly needed to pivot as another band already had that name. Yes, two different bands did not know how ska puns work. After trying
we don't either.
After trying much harder, they landed on the infinitely superior Mephiskapheles.
Yes.
Which did have a functioning ska pun in it.
Yeah. It is badass.
This is what the band said. So Brendan says, it was our roommate Matt Miller who inspired the idea of it being satanic, because he was listening to Bar Talk, and I think he was the one who was like, you should call yourself Mephistopheles. And McCall was like, no, we should call ourselves Mephiskapheles.
Hell yeah.
Because we wanted a band name with ska in it. And Brian said that was his doing. I give him credit for that. And we're all like, hey, didn't the Faust guy write that shit? And then Brendog said, we were like, no, I think this is going to be fine. We're going to be a satanic ska band. And Brian said, and it sounded so stupid, it might work. And we kind of got slowly all on board with it and liked it. The band then posted a classified ad looking for horns, and a section was formed including Osho Hollywood Endo on the trumpet and Alex McCabe on the alto saxophone. They released the demo tape, the Demoin, or the Demon, a pun better written than said out loud, and soon began aggressively playing live. The linchpin of the operation was energetic frontman Andre Worrell, a.k.a. the Nubian Nightmare, who added the exact spice to put the band over the edge.
We did discuss earlier, like, would not have worked if the lead singer was white. It would be real weird.
Yeah, I think
it would be ironic at that
talking
point.
about this.
It would be ironic at that point.
Oh, that sounds very like Cherry Poppin' Daddies adjacent.
Doesn't age as well.
Doesn't age well.
So, good thing it's not.
Yeah, that's a good thing. It's not.
It's appropriate.
So Brendog said, I thought one of the things that made Meph really great was that the horn players thought ska was stupid. And they were like, yeah, we'll play We Need a Gig. They didn't like it. These guys weren't going to kowtow to the idea of being a ska band. They were going to be their jazz selves. I think that really helped. Whereas Brian, McCall, Andre, and I were like, we liked ska, so we were having a great time. Osho convinced trombonist Greg Robinson to join shortly after, and the first horn section was locked in, made up of mostly professional players. They wanted nothing more than to be the top ska band in New York City. They saw the Scofflaws as the best band, but the Toasters as their only competition. Michael Blitz replaced Vatel Cherry on the upright bass in 93, and the first lineup was set. So 1994, the band self-released. Their label was called Past the Virgin. God Bless Satan, under the watchful gaze of Scofflaw's bassist Victor Rice. An East Coast ska album with dark, edgy beats and elaborate jazz-influenced horn lines and solos, is capped with Nubian Nightmares, confounding and Byzantine lyrics that were steeped in satanic imagery and provocative themes,
Fun.
mixed and engineered pro bono by prolific jazz bassist Bill Laswell and equally prolific guitar guy Robert Musso. It was led by the song Doomsday, where it received MTV play and was featured in local New York fitness
It
commercials.
was on MTV.
Yeah, so let's
That's
talk about it.
crazy.
I have it right here.
Woo, the best album.
The best album cover ever made.
Hell yeah. You got the vinyl.
Mephiskapheles.
I got the CD.
Yeah.
We got a vinyl and the CD looking
Yeah.
right here for the
Let's see who has the most physical copies
Damage on
out of
it.
the two of us.
Who's the most physical? All of a sudden, he pulls out 2 CDs.
You win. You win. Done.
So I'm going to point out everything that's right about this album cover. So first of all, the name of the band is great, right? We all agree Mephiskapheles is an A plus.
The logo.
The logo, the M in the Satan
The
star.
pentagram,
Cool
yeah,
as
yeah.
hell.
Yeah, it's
Cool as
perfect.
hell.
The font and the name of the album, which is God Bless Satan.
I need that on a cross stitch also. It's good. By
And
the
then
way.
the chicken with the devil horns.
So good.
There is nothing off with this record album. This is perfect.
Like I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
No notes.
I just will look at it for hours. It's wonderful.
Can we get a
And
Hail
this-
Satan for that?
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Also, the it's Meph 666 LP is the code. That's also great. This was the Jump Up reissue, which is very pretty. It has the demo in there as a 7-inch, but it's a very nice like red black. So I don't know if they still have this, but I spent too much money to order this from Jump Up when it was issued and have it shipped to Canada.
Oh, so I have the Moonska version of it. Then is that more money than what you got, or should I sell it? Like, what should I do?
So Moon stuff is also sells for a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
it does.
I'm on a gold mine. I didn't even know it.
You sell your stuff to Canadians.
If you're
Desperate
sitting on a
Canadians.
Checkered Cabs CD as well somewhere, it probably is worth a pretty penny.
I don't see it, but I'll keep looking.
But let's talk about it. God bless Satan. Let's play Doomsday and get started.
Bless
All
Satan.
right.
God bless Satan, so vegetarians can enjoy meat. God bless Satan, my vegan Satan ska metal band.
That's good.
Yeah, this is cool. The vocals are just so good. It's what makes the band. Like obviously the like academic jazz musicianship helps, but
It's great that there was this dichotomy where it's like the bass player and the horn players are like super professional jazz musicians, and then the rest of the band are like these like ska punk hardcore guys. And that was what, like, it's almost like this like pot that was ready to boil over. Like the fact that they were able to get together and put out a record is bananas.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and that they were all on the same page. I was actually thinking about that earlier, like just the fact of like that there is like an academic-y, like really skilled jazz musicians that's like, sure, I'll be in your satanic ska band. I don't know, like I like it, but it's just like to imagine that person exists is wild.
it's great
Yeah,
to
if you
watch.
get into like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
No,
you go
you.
ahead. Yeah.
Oh,
Guess.
like what I'm wondering, were you guys when you first heard it surprised that they are more of like this traditional ska sounding band? I mean, the New York style as opposed to like being like what I thought they'd sound like, where it's just like evil, like just like heavy guitars.
That's what I would have
Yeah.
expected. Like
Yeah.
you said, guar with horns is exactly aesthetic to sound what I would have assumed.
But those bass lines in this song alone is like it's so ominous at the same time that mixes with the lyrical theme of the end of the world as well.
There's like a Hall of the Mountain King evilness to it.
yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit of like the like Wagnerian opera
Yeah,
in the background. Yeah.
an academic spooky.
They do a thing also on this album in particular, where the guitarist likes to sort of do melodies and the keyboard does the ska rhythm,
Right.
which I think is a nice. I love that. It's awesome. I think that makes it sound a little grittier and a little bit more like darker.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
Brendog, the guitarist at the time, he's an excellent singer as well. That particular
yeah.
song you're probably gonna get to, but I don't want to step on your toes.
I might have skipped that song,
Whoa!
even though that's a very popular song.
Yeah, spicy.
But
Wrong and spicy.
well, I
I'm
can
just-
only pick so many
I'm
songs, and I
kidding.
can't pick every
I'm
single
kidding.
song.
I'm kidding.
That's
It's
true.
just like,
I love shitting on your choices.
you know what? Side A is like all hits. Like I'm just looking at it. It's like
Yeah.
it starts with Mephiskapheles.
You say that, but then side B has the hit.
It does. It has a.
You know.
Yeah, I know. Why are
You
we being
both
co-
know.
Why are we being coy?
You
Are
both
we gonna
know.
play the Bumblebee
You
Tuna song?
both know what
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
talking about. This song is so. It starts off this. I was saying like the dopamine that like rushes into my like body when this part comes on because you know what's about to happen. Except you. But if you were like going to show someone else, there's no way they would know what's about to happen.
I read an interview where they said that this is the like. They're
How
like
does he even
Doomsday
do it?
was the
Bumblebee.
single, but this is the song people come to the show
Yeah.
for.
I don't even know how he
Yeah.
does it. The bumblebee, 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 bumblebee. It's hard. Bumblebee tuna.
Yeah, the crowd loses their mind every time they play this song.
Bumblebee, bumblebee,
And it's a
tuna,
cover of a
I'm
commercial
bumblebee.
for
Oh, really?
Not a
I
It's
didn't
a
know that.
banger.
yeah. For
I thought they wrote the lyrics
Bumblebee
themselves.
No, it's a cover. That's what makes
Oh.
it very fun.
But everyone loves it.
Even the verses?
No,
Wow.
no, just
Oh, okay.
the
Just the chorus.
melody.
Okay.
It's just a
Gotcha.
jingle. Yeah.
Oh,
They stole
okay.
the jingle and then came up with some other stuff.
Well, we
around it.
know they stole that "Wish Upon a Song" in the center of at the end when they play the Disney song, which surprisingly have not got sued for yet. So hopefully Mickey Mouse is not listening to this podcast.
Center of
He
the
is. He actually is on our Discord. He's a Patreon subscriber,
Yeah,
and he's
I
gonna be
imagine it.
pissed.
Yeah.
What the?
All of a sudden I lose.
Hey, what the fuck? I'm gonna get my agent. Who do you think Mickey Mouse's agent is? Walt? Zombie Walt?
Ari Gold
Are you gold?
from Entourage.
Okay. Turtle.
It's Turtle.
It's Turtle from Entourage.
Celine, this album, like we
This is
came,
the album I'm familiar
Yeah.
with Mephiskapheles. This
we
is-
came off a record with a band that you were not fond
yeah.
of, but now we're into
We listened.
Mephiskapheles.
It was really so. I will say, I'm sure I would have enjoyed it. Also, like the listen through, regardless of what. But like the reprieve that I felt from having to listen to like, and I accidentally listened to 2 extra EPs of Suburban Legend, and this was a wonderful break, especially because they were
Huh.
just so PG. So just to have some like Satan come, I was just like, yes, thank you. Because I was just saying, like, my issue with Suburban Legend is just that they're so Suburban Legend, right? Not Suburban Rhythm.
Not
I didn't
Suburban
mix
Rhythm.
it up. I
Don't
didn't
mix
mix
them
it up. Okay.
Suburban Rhythm is actually more satanic, probably.
Yes, but I'm like, it was just so squeaky clean and PG and
Yeah.
like no grit or rough around the edges at all. And like Mephiskapheles has like all of that, but
Yeah.
intelligently done. So it's like the contrast made it even like more impressive to listen to. It's an enjoyable listen. It gets weird. It gets weird.
It gets
You gotta
weird
get
from
weird.
the jump. At the
Yeah.
jump, DOG, they already let you know we are getting weird.
Yeah, like you got to be ready to get weird, but it was much better than being fucking boring and too squeaky clean.
It is impressive that Mephiskapheles basically made a gimmick. This is basically a gimmick,
Mhm.
but made a career out of it. And because I think they just went for it. Like I think they just gave so few shits that like
They're not like doing it for you, even though
No.
they're like making a career off of it. But it's like it's not about you at all. But they'll play Bumblebee Tune at their shows.
yeah.
It's not just a gimmick,
Yeah,
but they found like a niche that no one else is doing that sets them apart from every other Moon Ska record band on that label. I mean, no disrespect to the Toasters or the Scofflaws or any of them, but in some cases you wouldn't be able to tell some of them apart. But these guys like Satan, yeah, I'm down.
They weren't just like pompadours.
I just
Let's
think
run.
there's no imitators, I guess is the other thing. Like nobody has bothered to come along to be just like they're like Scosmodius and we're also a satanic ska band. Like
Beelzebub.
Yeah. Back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they didn't do it. They were having too hard a time to make the ska pun work.
They're like, we can't do it.
I don't hate that pun, Celine. I don't hate it. That's all I'll say about that one.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
That's all I need.
I hate it.
Honestly, as much as anyone could ask for.
I don't love it either, but
let's listen to that intro song, the self-titled Mephiskapheles. I cut into the middle.
This is a different song. Oh no, it is. You're right.
I go into the middle.
Yeah, threw me off.
Yeah, I was like, you.
I do like that their lyrics don't make sense half the time.
My baloney has a first name.
My baloney has a first name.
It's Satan.
Satan.
Is that a reference kids these days would get? The Oscar Mayer Wiener song?
I don't know. This is fun. Also, they're like obviously very talented musicians. Clearly, right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
This timing is insane.
We'll get into.
Do you think this is any like do you think there's jazz fans that this is like their?
This is the ska band that they are
pleasure.
Okay with.
Yeah, that they're like, this is like how I get edgy.
Yeah, it's like this in Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra.
Yeah. It'd be fun to see them at the local jazz club, actually.
Like a bunch of beatniks and stuff. Jazz cigarettes.
Yeah, we have one Yardbird Suite. Yeah.
See them at Yardbird would be fun.
Suite
that would be fun. Yeah. Because they kind of like, some of them look like really like the horn players like look like a bunch of jazz guys.
Yeah.
They're not like in two-piece suits with like checkerboards.
I love the tone of the guitar on this song a lot.
This part's good too, because this song probably has the most Satan references on the whole album. When they count into 6.
6.
Love it.
It's cool as hell.
Yeah, it is. Super
That's
cool.
what I said.
I can't believe how this has.
Especially
held
I
up
listened
so
to this
much.
as like an angsty teen, so I was obviously like, great, perfect, love it, fuck yeah, the devil, cool.
Mom won't like this at all.
No, exactly. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So I didn't put Saba on there. I know that's like the other.
Yeah,
like,
that's a very good
song.
one.
Yeah,
that's weird and good.
That gets all the girlies dancing at the show. It's like big old party.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It'd be fun to see them live.
Oh yeah, you would have a blast.
I would.
We haven't seen them around. They haven't come around here. I don't know if they're motivated.
I know they played Canada before. How far are you guys from Toronto? Like about 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how big Canada is. I'm sorry.
Well,
I've never been.
Probably an hour and a half.
Yeah. In this traffic?
Yeah. I drove nonstop, and it was like 60s just to get to Ontario.
Just walk downhill, and you'll get there quickly.
Yeah, walk down.
Yeah, just walk downhill. Go to Canada City, and then over to Toronto.
Jump on the snowmobile. Put your snowshoes on for 20 minutes.
What else do we want to say about God Bless Satan? You got any last minute thoughts there, Celine?
It's good. I like it.
It's good as hell. It's one of my favorite ska records of all time. Probably in top 10, if not top 20.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What about that one song that's insanely fast, which they play even faster live, Rank and File, which is fast enough. It's great.
I love
how you might have mentioned how good musicianship they have, but they are able to play all together and do double time so eloquently. Love it.
That's bananas.
It's also interesting. I think that this album is interesting to see because they do have these like darker songs like Center of the and Satanic Debris and the title track, and it's all like They're a lot more darker. They have that kind of satanic edge. And then there's these bright songs like Doomsday and Saba and Rank and File, because those brighter songs were written before all the horn players joined and before Andre joined. And so, like, I think when everybody got together, that's what creates the core sound. So you can kind of see when things were written.
Yeah, they like
Yeah.
obviously like don't take themselves seriously, but they also take themselves very seriously in a way that they like
Yes.
want to do perform well and do a good job. Like obviously like their integrity on musicianship and like performance is high, but they're doing a silly niche. It's a fun juxtaposition.
I agree. Do you have any last minute thoughts on this album, Jarrell?
If you don't own it right now, kill yourself, but not literally.
Unalive immediately.
I was saying before this started, like, if there's anybody out there who has not listened to this album, like, do yourself a favor.
It's a gooder.
It's streaming.
At
like,
the very
get on there and listen
least,
to
you'll
it.
have fun.
Yeah, it's a great time. This is a classic in the canon of ska, especially in the third wave. It's wonderful.
It's so great that it's basically a masterpiece. We're all saying it's a masterpiece album that is really rare for your debut album to be just perfect.
Yeah, it's a full listen. There's no skips.
Are they like a band's band? Do you know what I mean? Do musicians like them?
Yeah, I think
You
so.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say so.
I feel like they're like ska band.
I mean,
one of ska band's favorite ska band.
That's typical of a New York style ska band.
Yeah,
in
you know what I mean?
Because of the musicianship's always a lot higher. Yeah.
Yeah, they're one of those bands that other bands say are underrated, I feel like.
Yeah, that's what that's like kind of, I feel like they're like, no, this like Mephiskapheles.
We're talking about Inspector 7 before. Inspector 7 had that same
they love Mephiskapheles?
Yeah, they're good friends. And they were also a band's band. They were like,
yeah,
you gotta know
totally.
Inspector 7 because they're just such tight musicians. Yeah.
I was not on that episode.
No.
But I could also just listen to it in my spare time.
Yeah.
There's just I had to listen to 9 albums of fucking Suburban Rhythm.
I think it's a good time to take a break. And when we get back, more Mephiskapheles.
What the fuck you're doing with that shelf?
Skelf.
All right.
Yeah.
Skelf. All right. We're gonna take a break. So if you need to get like water or go to the bathroom or anything, go for it.
I got a diaper on, so I'm okay.
Okay. I might go get a beer though.
We call them pod diapers.
I'm gonna go get a beer. Everyone's okay if I go get a beer?
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
A potty pod, yeah.
A potty pod, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this has been fun.
Yeah, it's really a really
Have you
pleasure.
listened to? Oh, sorry. I was gonna ask if you listened to Suburban Rhythm.
I saw them live before and bought the CD. Damn, I don't know what it was called.
They put
Maybe
on
it was
a
called
good
like
live show.
Day Job, something like that. I think it was called. But,
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that okay? Yeah, I saw them. They played a couple of Disney cover songs, which were cute.
Yes.
But all your
Yes.
criticism, I totally agree. They are really lighthearted ska music.
Right, which is like fine, and there's nothing really wrong with that. I didn't mind the Disney covers. That was fun. It was just, I think it was just too much of it. And they did have some albums where they like really strayed and experimented that were there was some that I wasn't supposed to even listen to, and I was like, I don't know what. They had a disco dance album or EP, right?
We're talking more about Suburban
Yeah,
Legends?
well, I was just
the band she hates so
curious.
much.
I was just curious if I just wanted someone on my side.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
he suggested Mephiskapheles, so I was assuming he was a puppet of taste.
Yeah.
The other one was Boss Tones, right? That was the other one you had suggested.
The Boss Tones, yeah, that was quite
They're edgy
embarrassing.
too, though.
I was embarrassing.
I want to
be
do Boss Tones.
talking. I know you're not. I know the reason why you don't want to do it. I know.
Which is annoying, but
Yeah, but I'm on the side of it's not like I don't blame Joe Gittleman, right? And he's one of the big songwriters, or Johnny Vegas, or any of those people. And
Ben
I
Carr.
mean, in the end, yeah, I don't blame. Well, maybe I blame Ben Carr a little bit. No, I'm kidding. But it's more like the importance to talk about them. I can't not, like, it's based on like what we do for this podcast. And the reality is, when I saw Boss Tones at Punk Rock Bowling and they played Devil's Night Out front to back, one of the best ska shows I've ever seen. Like, incredible. And so I don't want to take out that memory I have just because one dude in a 9-piece band is kind of shitty.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
It's tough.
Do you think there's any possibility like that they could reunite and we can put it behind us?
I kind of hope so, especially after knowing that there's like some kind of anti-vax punk band that Dickie is in now that is going to be like, yeah, they're putting out some stuff, and I wonder if that's going to change, or if maybe even if we get like a couple members of the band come back and do something different. They do a different band.
The Defiant.
Is that what Dickie Baird's band is
the
called?
The Defiant, yes.
Yeah, with a bunch of his cronies from other punk bands.
Just brutal.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Well, how much longer are we going to milk this anti-vax thing? Maybe like in, let's say, like 2027. Are we going to still be talking about that where they can't reunite as the Boss Tones and we'll like, oh, remember when he talked that shit, 7 years ago? Or are we going to get over it,
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know. I feel like I
think his attitude towards it also doesn't help.
Yeah. And also it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it's a pretty deep rabbit hole, and it tends to be if you believe in one part of the thing, you tend to believe in a lot of it.
I think the other thing too is he was on like a couple like right-wing podcasts and stuff talking about it.
Yeah.
It's tough. I don't know.
Yeah.
He would have to do something to kind of wash out some of
much
that
like our
mojo.
issues with like we're in break. But like our with Amy Interrupter, like, and just how
what issues with her?
Well, she's just done some weird right-wingy stuff in the past, and they haven't really.
She also had a talking to with our friend Esteban, who we interviewed because he.
Oh, you shouldn't talk. This is still recording.
Oh my god, sorry, I didn't know we were recording.
Yeah.
I just smoked weed too. Never mind.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it.
Rub it in.
Yeah,
so
this is just for the Patreon anyway. Their Patreon anyway.
Nah, we haven't. That was specifically.
Was that not? Oh
no,
yeah,
that was specifically off pod.
Okay, well we caught it.
Yeah, that's okay.
She's religious. I basically was like, there's a weird religious like undertone to things, and then that's all.
And she was on Alex Jones.
I'll just say that.
And,
that's all I'll say.
Yeah,
and did that Ron Paul thing.
And then we got into a fight with one of the members, and so that's fine. I'm just leaving them alone at this point.
Yeah,
I've just decided I put it in my rear view. I'm not making enemies of touring ska punk bands anymore.
Giant stadium-sized touring bands.
Yeah, that's it's not worth. It's not worth my political fight.
I'm sure Green Day asked you guys to open for them. You wouldn't turn it down.
Oh
yeah, 100%.
I 100% do not fault them for taking the tour. That's go for it. Make ska popular. That's what I say.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. That's kind of the one thing
that's not a criticism.
That's what we said.
That's not a criticism.
We said that they're like a good gateway into ska. Like that's one big value of the Interrupters is it's bringing more people on
and letting more people know what it is. Because I actually think Gen Z does like ska.
I think so.
Gen Z likes ska more than millennials do.
Yeah.
They just don't want to be honest about it.
Yeah. But I mean, like you mentioned earlier, that 100 Gex record has 2 full ska songs and then 1 song that has Slang Tang, which is like classic dance hall ska reggae. Like it's like that's a third of that album. There's only 10 songs on the album.
I think there's like a whole 4 because Doritos and Fritos has a ska riff.
Oh yeah, actually, there are little ska riffs in other songs as well. Yeah. So
me. Yeah,
I love those the bass tabs on that song too. It gives me that '90s like Primus feel for Doritos and Fritos too.
Yeah, and
I'm glad I discovered that band, and they're kind of like new, so I don't feel like completely out of loop when that happens.
Eichlers is really into them, and when we talked to Eichlers, we all gave 100 Gex a little bit of a listen on their first album, and all of us were like, we don't get it, we're too old. But then this one came out.
I'm still that way.
Yeah, so Celine still feels that way. But this one came out, and I listened to it on release day, and I did the same thing. I listened to it back to back like twice. Like it was just so fucking good.
It's so fun. Yeah.
I think
I never liked the that style of music like about 10 years ago. What was it like 100 Gets kind of does that dubstep beat kind of stuff, that glitchy
Yeah.
thing they
Right.
do.
Yeah.
But they do it
Totally.
right, you know.
Yeah, they
The
have a
video
really
game sound.
Yeah, well, they have a really good sensibility of like the songs will be weird and chaotic, but they'll still be like a pop song. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it'll still have like a verse, chorus, verse, bridge kind of deal. But they'll just cram it into like a minute and a half, and it'll have like Star Wars laser sounds and bullshit. Like it's such a fun. Yeah, it's great.
They're junk food music, and it's like it's perfect. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
It's so good.
Anyway,
Anyways,
let's go back to the pod. Talking
yeah,
Mephiskapheles.
I'm gonna go away. Bye.
All right, ready? Welcome back to Checkered Past. We're here with Jarell of Puppet Perspectives, and we're talking Mephiskapheles. So back to, we just finished talking about their debut, God Bless Satan. Spakal said this. So this New York Times article comes out titled, The Sound of New York, Ska? Ska? Yes, Ska. The story came out the next week that the MTV producer was holding on to the Doomsday video, and Rancid's Time Bomb just hit MTV's Buzzbin. It was just one of those things that timed out perfectly. When the video debuted on 120 minutes, it was introduced by Lane Stanley of Alice in Chains. Joey said, wow. I don't think
Off mic.
Off
Really
mic.
loud wow.
Lane Stanley, wow. It caught the attention of Moonska, who reissued it on a national scale in 95. The decision was not necessarily beloved by all the members, who still had some resentment to the Toasters. One of the funny things about Mephiskapheles, they do not like the Toasters. It is very funny.
That's a thing?
It is a thing, yeah. Yeah, there's a one-sided feud where the Toasters is like one of the biggest bands on the East Coast, and Mephiskapheles is like, fucking Toasters.
I love that. I love that attitude.
I saw them tour together this summer, and they didn't say they had a problem with each other.
No,
okay.
I'm sure they don't. And later on, it would come out that they, it was more just like the Toasters were playing a type of ska that they didn't like vibe with. Like they didn't like that kind of more upbeat, not like kind of more third wavy sound. And also just because they were so big, and they said when they joined Moonska, their biggest worry was that they'd just be opening for the Toasters all the time. And that they'd be like second fiddle. Turned out not to be the case. They were popular in their own right.
They don't want to be at the Sasha Colby meet and greet.
That's
sorry. That's a Drag Race. Very recent.
Very recent
deep cut
Drag Race reference.
Nobody wants to open for a band named after kitchen appliances. No.
Nobody.
The album itself was selling so well locally that they almost could not see the point of signing to Moonska. However, getting national exposure was too good to pass up, and inevitably they signed for distribution. Mephiskapheles would spend the 95 and 96 tours, then they would include a massive show in Hawaii, where their singles Doomsday, Saba, and Bumblebee Tuna were all charting. They were so popular that Radio Free Hawaii paid for them to fly out and play. Frequently, the whole satanic thing would get them into trouble.
I love it.
They would have chick tracts left on their doors.
What?
Do you know what chick tracts are?
No.
They're these like little comics that are like super religious.
Okay.
That, I can't remember the guy's name is. They're bigger in the States.
Okay.
But they're like, yeah. And so they were just getting like dropped off.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
People are praying for their souls.
Yeah. The Utah would cancel all their gigs.
Yeah.
And Hepcat refused to play with them. I thought that was interesting.
Oh.
One member of Hepcat was born again.
Okay.
And so refused to play with Mephiskapheles. Although I think that has changed since then because they've played together, but that was a thing. Five Iron Frenzy, on the other hand, good natured son of a guns that they were.
They would get the joke, and they wouldn't take it personally.
And do you know what the bill was called?
That's why we love Five Iron Frenzy. You know what was it called?
God versus the Devil.
That's so funny. That's the attitude you should have.
Incredible. What a show that would be. You're going through Denver and you're Mephiskapheles and you open for Five Iron Frenzy.
Amazing.
100%.
That would be such a good show.
God versus the Devil. Unfortunately, drummer, founding member, and co-songwriter The Virgin decided to quit around this time. He was not interested in being a full-time musician and was butting heads with the other members who were beginning to find him unreliable. Brendog said this: I wasn't into the music we were making anymore. To me, the Mephiskapheles sound was God Bless Satan. Not to be egotistical, but McCall and I were like the Lennon and McCartney of the band. He was replaced by Wayne Dunton And at this time, McCabe ceased touring with them, although he still chose to record. The lineup produced the Straight to Moon Ska Maximum Perversion right in the summer of ska. Worrell would now go by the moniker The Grand Invidious and would do all the art for the album. It was produced by Alex Hayes, a partner of Bill Laswell, and featured a shift to more flash-in-the-pan experimentation and overall mellower flavors. It was led by the hip-hop influenced Break Your Ankle Punk and was poorly received by fans on its release. But does this stand the test of time? And there it is, Maximum Perversion.
The album cover is cool.
Yes,
yeah.
Very cool. Oh, we're 2 for 2, aren't we? Oh no, I thought you were gonna pick up the album too.
Oh, no,
nope. I don't have
win.
the other 2 on vinyl. So this
all
is
right,
all
that means you have to catch up. 2 to 1.
That means he has to send you whatever he has.
Yeah, I ran to the store on release day. I guess it's listed there. I don't know the release date, but I picked it up the day it came out. And what you said earlier is 100% correct. 100% correct. It was not as good, but I will say at the same time, it is not terrible either.
No,
it was an interesting re-listen. So when I got into Mephiskapheles, it was through God Bless Satan, because Doomsday I think was just I googled ska in Kaza and it came up, and I went to Maximum Perversion next because I was like what else do they do? And I was like, wow, this is so much slower. I was immediately oh, the energy is down on this album, and not in a bad way, but at the time I was like, this is not what I'm coming for. And I really passed on a lot of post God Bless Satan Mephiskapheles. But I know nowadays Maximum Perversion has a way more, it's more fondly remembered, I think, because of how technical and jazzy it is. It's we were just listening to it while we were during our break, and even Joey was commenting that the drummer is on another level. The technicality of the musicianship is plussed up,
right?
Which is probably why some of the band members left.
Yeah, that jazz vibes there. Satan on the Beach, definitely a jazz horn section there. But I'll let you play some tracks, and I'll tell you some of my favorites, which aren't a whole lot. I got a question. I got a question for you, Rob. Did you say Brendog still played on this album?
No, he was. Wait, no. Who left? No, it was the drummer that left. Sorry, the Virgin. McCall Reich left. But so Brendog should still be on this album at this time. Yeah. Right,
because that's what I got on the back of the CD too. So I just wanted to make sure. Cool.
Yeah. McCall had left, and who? Oh, and Wayne Dutton is the new drummer. Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
So let's kick off with "Break Your Ankle Punk." Mm-hmm. That's the single.
It's a funny name. It's definitely a little bit too smart for me, but I don't mind it because they're still being fun about it, you know?
It's definitely not as dark, heavy. Doesn't have as many dark and heavy moments. Definitely not compared to what comes next.
Yeah.
And so
and more hip hop for sure.
Oh yeah. So I know that the Grand Invidious, it's just fun to say his crazy names. He was much less of a just I'm a straight ska guy. And I know he was always listening to a lot of whatever was going on in New York at the time. Right. He's just really adapting to the sounds. Because he got really into, this is just wild. Such mid 90s hip hop going on.
Yeah.
It's definitely of the time.
Yeah.
So is the music video too. It's just so random, imagery that 90s music videos used to have. I remember seeing this on 120 Minutes stuff. It was pretty cool to see them on TV anyway. But
yeah, that's pretty sweet to think of them being that big. To think about it now it's wild.
The timing, going back and remembering the timing of what happened, for them to be oh, the reason why Doomsday got on the radio is because Time Bomb was on 2 weeks before.
Right.
The timing was just too perfect.
They were just right place, right time.
And then Maximum Perversion is this insane jazz album, and it was right in the time. They could have written the most like down the road, down the middle of the street, third wave ska,
It would have sold like
and they
crazy.
would have sold like crazy. They probably would have
but
been.
they didn't do it.
They didn't. They decided to be weirdos,
Which
and
I love.
The single is a hip hop song, and that's the only one
I
like it on the
respect
album.
them for doing what they wanted to do.
Oh yeah, this is again what like we were talking about Stretch Armstrong. Like the band could not have given two fucks about getting popular and like being on the radio.
For them. It's for them.
There's something admirable about it. So, but what are your thoughts on Maximum Perversion?
Sucks. No, I'm kidding. It's okay. Like they still play some of these songs live, and it's kind of cool to like get nostalgic about it. And I did give this album a lot of listens when it first came out, but overall, after the introduction to the Yellow Passion, they got the foursome song, and it just gets like spotty after that. There's like it gets kind of boring towards even when we get to Scram. But I would say Bad Toupee is like my favorite song, the most heaviest song on the album.
Me too. That's what I said.
And
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like
Bad
when that
Toupee
drum,
is my the best
when
song.
that drum solo kicks off,
Yeah.
I'm so excited, like because that song's about to kick off. And honestly, when the album begins with the first song, you think it's gonna be a lot better than it ends up turning out to be.
Yeah, because the first song is like a ska song. Like it pretty kicks off right away, where you're like, "Oh yeah, ska! I like ska." And then like,
it's 1997. You know, it's cool.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a ska album, and then you're like, "Oh, right, it's not totally."
It's more jazzy, like that they were hinting from the first album that they bring more into this. So I think it's something that you can just have that jazz cigarette, snap your fingers, get a beatnik outfit, and just listen to the vibes and dig it,
vibe out. Yeah, just vibe out.
We should listen to Introducing the Yellow Passion.
The only song I think I'd ever go back and listen to is Bad Toupee.
I should have queued that one up. I do like that song, yeah, but that's okay. See,
this one's more ska than Bad Toupee, so that's probably why you picked it.
Well, I wanted to showcase that they did do a ska song, and that they were capable of writing good ska songs, but you can tell that the band, like what was working in the first album with the butting the heads of the two styles, it's splintering here. Like they're not as cohesive.
Right.
It's kind of like going in two directions at the same time.
A lot of different ideas happening on a song at a time.
Yeah, a lot of everyone got to do a little bit of their own thing, and jury's out if it was worked or not.
But I can see why like people are retroactively looking at this as something more favorable. And it could also be maybe some nostalgia for the time, because I think this was a lot of people's first exposure to them. If you were just like a ska kid and you're just buying whatever new ska album was coming out in the 90s. Oh yeah, I put the sax solo.
So I could see Fishbone fans being into this album.
Which is why I kind of liked it.
I feel like it's still, I don't know.
Kenny wanted us to mention that the sax goes hard.
The sax does go hard. The sax does go hard.
Alto sax. Specifically, the alto sax goes hard.
I also want to admit that the CD artwork, too, is kind of cool with like the Pope versus the Devil and a orgy happening in the background. That's kind of cool.
It's awesome, yeah. And what who drew it? The
singer did.
The singer drew it? That's
he did all the art.
That's so impressive.
Very good.
So good.
Do you ever think of doing it like full time as like a profession?
No, I don't want to sell out to the man.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
No, that's a good answer. I queued up King Tit.
Yeah, you did. Wait. I was like, is he going to put King Tit on?
Yeah.
But we're not on the album yet, are we?
Oh, wait, is that from Might I?
Yeah, is that the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoops.
Edit point.
Edit point. Yeah, no.
He saw the word tit. He got excited.
And he is the king of them, so.
I'm the king of King Tits? Is that what you're saying?
You're the king tit.
You're the king tit.
The queen tit and the prince tit.
Sounds like a good thing. He's more of like a jester tit.
Let's so I guess I don't have anything else queued up from this album. I guess
no, you didn't need to. You didn't need to. We get the point.
Oh man, you saw Satan on the Beach. You didn't cue that song up. It says the word. It says the word Satan in the title.
Yeah, Satan on the Beach is a good song.
It's mostly instrumental.
It's mostly
right.
What did you forget to put something on? You, Joey? Oh,
No,
no.
he's just looking at me.
Oh,
He's
you were
giving me
just-
the look of
He was
Rob,
just
you
giving
fucked
Rob
up.
a look. I don't.
I'm allowed to fuck up on the podcast.
Yeah,
I
we
do
all
it
are.
sometimes. Listen.
I do it every time.
Yeah, it's ska, man. There's allowed to be some fuck ups here and there.
Yeah. And it's jazz, baby.
It's
There's
jazz,
allowed
baby.
mistakes is what makes it jazz.
Yeah.
It's the songs I'm not playing.
Yeah.
You gotta listen to the songs he's not playing.
Yeah.
I could do that at home.
At this point, the band began straying away from their ska tour buddies, Blue Meanies and Inspector 7. They toured nationally with the Buzzcocks,
That's fun.
opened numerous times for Guar,
That's sweet.
and contributed horns to Moby's version of the James Bond theme for the movie Tomorrow Never Dies.
Can't remember that song, but I think that's cool.
Or that movie.
Hell yeah.
So Tomorrow Never Dies had Academy Award-winning actress Michelle Yeoh. She was the Bond girl.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That's right. And the bad guy was Jonathan Pryce of Brazil.
Welcome to Brazil.
Yes. Brazil is one of my favorite movies. Right?
Terry Gilliam.
It's a country too.
What?
What?
When?
Huh?
Oh, Christ Redeemer.
Yeah.
Other things.
No, just Christ
Christ
Redeemer.
It's only got like some of the most populated cities in the world.
Christ Redeemer. It's on theme. Jesus, cross, Satan.
I see what you're doing. So this
Always
obviously
comes
caused rifts in the band, and by 1999, they suffered major lineup changes with bassist Bitz, trumpeter Hollywood, and founding member Brendog all leaving, with Brendan in particular disliking the band's current musical direction. This would mean no founding members were left in the group. Bassist Dan, technically.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
So, because the
singer
underpants and the singer came in after the band was already started. Bassist Dan Jesselson, saxophonist Ian Hendrickson Smith, and two guitarists, Bill McKinney and David Han Solo. We talked about him during the Slackers, right? They would all join. And so in 1999, they released Maite Waite.
I still can't say it either. I still have trouble saying it.
Is that Maite Waite?
No, Maite
Waite.
Mighty Whitey.
Through Koch Records, because Moonska was not doing great at the time. Worrell this time went by the name Grilly, and the album was produced by somebody named Stoker. The record further delineated from their original sound, incorporating elements of reggae, but mostly hardcore and metal. This is a pretty metal album.
Yeah, this one's metal.
Trumpet on the record was performed by Nathan Breedlove of the Scatolites. That's wild. So let's talk about it. This album is fucking bananas.
It's cool.
Let's start with Calloused Boy, because that's the first. What was that? Yeah.
Did I
fuck up here? Yeah,
that was
supposed to be on the last one.
I'll be honest with you guys. When I was at the record store that year, I'm like, I didn't know they had a new album, so I just bought it immediately. And my reaction with this first song was exactly the same thing that you all think. What the? Did I get the right album?
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one. Yep, Calloused Boy.
Right album.
Yeah.
Also, Rob Googled Calloused Boy.
To make sure it was on the right album. I was like, is that the first one?
In Google Images, it was just a bunch of like boys with calluses.
Oh yeah, that's fucking weird. Yeah. But yeah, just basically like
it's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
It's like New York metalcore of the time.
This would be fun to see live.
So why
Can't really skank to it though.
No, it's fuzzy.
It just started a little pit going, you know.
But you'd be vibing.
Yeah.
I would headbang. I always do, and then I'd get a bang over, and I'd regret it the next day.
Bang over. I never heard that term before. Is that an?
I learned it recently, but it is real because my neck always hurts the next day, and then Joey's like, "You have a bang over."
Oh yeah.
Good call, Joey. I'm gonna have to use that.
Yeah.
I used to have long hair when I played in a band. I would get bangovers after shows, so it was
you gotta whip around your hair if you have it.
Guys, do the windmill, you know.
Oh, I always got a windmill. I'm always like, don't do it, Celine. It's
I
too
don't know
much.
if I've seen you at a metal show. I know we went to Blind Guardian that one time, but I've never really seen you at like metal shows.
I'll like Maz will fucking just do Bang Your Head in her cover band,
Oh,
and I
okay,
will
sure.
like windmill the whole time. And Joey. Anyways. Bang your head.
So for
You
some
know.
weird reason, I noticed that the version of this album on Spotify has the songs in different order, and I can't figure out why compared to the CD. Is there any
Weird. 'Cause
story about that?
That was because it was the remaster
Remastered?
in 2020, but I don't know
Mhm.
why they reordered the
Then
songs.
maybe they shuffled the
Yeah.
songs for the re-release.
Yeah, or
Ah.
it's like this is the way we initially wanted it to be
or something.
sequenced.
Yeah.
Well, if I was gonna sell one of these three albums for a profit, it would be this one if it's worth money to have the original track listing order. But I
Yeah.
digress.
Do you bring it to
Okay.
Antiques Roadshow?
I won't be. It's not. This album is similar to the second album where it's just okay. But
Yeah.
it's so different from what they were doing. So I was like, why are they being like a ska punk band or ska core band now?
I
But
definitely
at the
prefer
same
some of their
time,
later stuff compared to
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Oh, you like after this album you like it?
Yeah, I feel like
Okay.
isn't there like there's a couple more after, or there's a
There's
bunch.
2 EPs
Two?
after this, but
Yeah.
we're not talking about it on
Oh,
this podcast.
sorry.
That's okay. If you listen to it, that's good.
Nice.
Yeah. Satan Stole My Weed. That was like the big song that they had.
That's
yeah.
maybe I'm just talking about that one song.
It's a good song.
But
This
you get
came out
some
around
stuff
the-
like
yeah.
you get some stuff that they were doing in the past, like Tallahassee Tango, and I would say the Devil's Due has that like traditional ska sound that they used to play. So it's kind of like they didn't totally sell out or change their style. They just kind of added to what they were doing previously. Even though I think by 1999 ska was kind of on its way out in a way, but
if not completely. We have Devil's Due. Let's play that. That's a good one. Oh yeah, I'm remembering this is fun.
You can skank to this.
You can skank to this. So I'm thinking about like, we try to like figure out the bands that kind of really implied the more ska core stuff that happens nowadays. So like an album like this, or like the second Pilfers album, or Alone in the Crowd, the Catch-22, we talked about that one, or Progress by the RX Bandits. These are all like kind of heavier ska albums that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. Or even that era of Voodoo Glow Skulls, like El Val de los, whatever it's called.
the Bal de los Loco.
There you go. Thank you. Val de los Locos. And then Band Geek Mafia also came out around that time.
Mm.
This is a fun
Go
song.
Joey, go Joey.
Go Joey.
It's a good song. Devil's Due.
Yeah.
Now, let's play King Tit just because I have it there.
King Tit.
It's so
Horn
weird.
sucking sauce.
Bone sucking sauce, no. Horn sucking sauce.
Horn sucking sauce.
That would be more on point.
Yeah, see, this sounds like kind of like what they were doing in the past. So
yeah,
it's
skank to
kind of
this.
I think
got the organs going. They got the horns.
I think you could like I think you can cobble together a really good playlist, or a live set list combining all the eras of Mephiskapheles. I think sometimes they take a swing that's just so wide that you're like, what was like that? It almost is like too much. Where you're like, that was too much what they tried to do on this one song.
Yeah,
and then that's all you remember.
This
You
is a
remember the
sweet
weird
song.
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
The verse right here. This is nice.
Yeah, this is fun.
I just want to dance like this,
Yeah. I feel like I got a lot of my dance moves from puppets. When we really break it down.
Like especially with Kermit with his like, yay!
Oh yeah, I do that all the time. For sure. Big inspo.
I think I've got all I had to say about White Might.
Yeah, it's cool. I absolutely probably never listened to it like track for track. Probably the first album is the only album I would just like listen to like front to back ever.
And
there's definitely some jams.
I think it would have been in their. It wouldn't have been in their best interest to just do more of the same too. I think God Bless Satan is so good on its own merits that
It just
it's
is what it
probably
is.
good that they tried to do something different. It just wasn't all hits.
Yeah.
Terrell,
What would
do
you
think?
say is like the like if you had to pick out of these second and third album, what would you say is the best one? If you had a gun to your head, which I guess normally happens when people ask you to make a choice.
Yeah, all the
So
time. People are always
trivial,
asking me weird ultimatums. Yeah,
like
yeah.
these trivial questions. They put a gun to your head.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I could probably
go
listen
third.
to Maximum Perversion.
Yeah, and I would go at the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
I'm
go third
torn
over
myself.
second.
So 1, 3, 2 is Celine.
I'd listen to Satan Stole My Weed.
And I'm 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
And then Satan Stole My Weed. So
Yeah,
it
goes
Satan
1,
Stole
Satan
My
Stole My Weed, and then 3.
I don't know what I picked for this. Like because it's like I have to like count like what song I like out of both, and like whatever has a bigger number, I probably win with. Because I just get kind of bored with like both albums after a while. But
Yeah.
I think you could better to cobble together a full album out of just the songs you like from both.
that's what they should have did. They should have took the best songs from the second and third and made one final album. But
Maximum White Eye.
exactly.
That's probably no good. All right. Well, after
it's
a couple more
problematic,
Whiteout perversion.
yeah.
Whiteout perversion.
After a couple more years of touring, the band would unceremoniously break up in 2001, citing massive creative differences amongst its members, with most members going into decidedly heavier and more experimental territory. The band would reform in 2012 and put out a couple more EPs, but maybe that is for another episode.
Whoa.
More so, I'm thinking if they put out anything new, that we could do a redux, which would be fun.
Whoa.
That was Mephiskapheles, folks.
Interesting.
Let's play a game. And I should have
now I have King Tit in my head.
You ready? Yeah, it's good.
Everyone's
The best place to have a tit.
It's fun
is
to
in your
say,
head.
yeah. Especially a king of tits.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Sorry,
this
you've got
is
a song.
fun.
He's
This
got
is
a
fun.
song.
Ahem. The spikes, the paint, the shrieks, not Nazis. I like my metal black just like my coffee with the buzz, the blades. And I said, no Nazis. I like my metal black just like my coffee.
He's doing a play on mindless self-indulgence.
Yeah.
I feel like, I guess maybe our demographic would get it.
This game is called Keep It True or False Metal. Keep it true or false metal.
I like it.
So Joey's on mic for this because we're going to play a game. So in this game, Celine, Joey, and Jarrell will be given a statement related to the Inner Circle era of Norwegian black metal. And they must determine if the statement...
only one. I mean, I don't know Jarrell's history.
Oh, no, just
but
wait for it. It's good.
Okay.
We'll have to determine if the statement keeps it true or is false metal.
So is it true cult or not?
It's either keeps it true or, and I spelled true TRVE.
You mean just like not posery?
Or is false metal? No, it's true or false.
Oh,
is it right or wrong?
Okay.
You keep it true or false metal?
Okay.
Get it right, get a point. Get it wrong, get sent to hell. Buzz
Get
in
the
with your
gong.
name. No,
Get sent to hell.
satanic. Get sent to hell.
Gongs are satanic.
Kinda. Yeah.
Kinda.
So buzz in with your name or buzz or ska. There's and I don't know if I'll let you because if you get it wrong, then we know what the other
You'll
answer
get
is.
the gong.
Yeah. So you just get one try.
Or you'll die.
Are we clear on the rules? It's a true or false quiz, basically.
Or you'll drool.
Yeah, okay.
How many chances do we get to answer if we answer and we get it wrong, do we get another try or is no?
Yeah, no, there's no other try.
Okay.
I think
it's true or false.
Do or do not.
I think it was pretty clear. You get the gong.
No, you get sent to hell. Okay, there's 12 of these.
Okay.
All right, you ready? Okay. Number 1. Mayhem's guitarist Euronymous used to own a record store called Helveti, which means inferno, which served as a gathering place for the early Norwegian black metal scene.
Ska.
Yeah.
True.
That is correct.
Yeah, that seems true.
That is
Yeah,
correct.
okay.
Jerome.
Sounds
1
pretty
point.
true.
I like that Joey had to put J-A because you can't just put
and
J.
J-O, yeah.
Joja.
All right. Number 2. Aboth Doom Occulta of Immortal is known for collecting rare stamps and has one of the most extensive stamp collections in Norway.
Celine.
Yeah.
False.
That is false.
Oh, wow.
That is not correct.
Oh wow,
That is false metal.
I don't think that's surprising. That's false metal.
No,
That's
it's
false
totally
metal.
surprising because metal nerds are nerds and they're nerdy about other stuff too.
Yeah, but
That was false
stamps
metal.
is like a specific type of like.
Is there a train metal band? Like a band
Who's
that's
into
really nerdy
trains?
about trains? Because train nerds are like,
Well, you got it. There's got to be.
gotta
No,
be
it's like a train
metal
yacht
If
rock
there's-
band.
If there's a Ned Flanders
Train
metal
rock?
band, there's a
Yeah,
train
train
metal
yacht
band.
rock.
Emperor's drummer Faust, speaking of which, committed a murder-hate crime and was sentenced to 14
Whoa.
years in prison, but was released after only serving 9.
Jesus
Ska'd.
Christ, Celine.
Yep.
Dope.
Jarrell,
True.
it is true.
Yeah, that bummer.
It is true.
What a real bummer.
Boo.
Uh,
Boo.
Nobody liked that.
Number 4,
Yes, boo.
Norwegian black metal band Satyricon
Ah.
was once featured in a Coca-Cola commercial, sparking outrage amongst fans.
Celine.
Yep.
True.
It is not true.
Damn
Celine.
it.
That was false metal.
Ska'd.
I was
It
like,
does not
I knew.
keep it
I
true.
thought Satira would.
Oh,
Jarrell wants to take a crack at it.
False.
It is
Am I right? Did I get it? Yes.
No points. Yeah, no points though. No points.
Ah.
Nice try though.
I
All
thought
right.
Satire. I
No.
kind of thought they would maybe, but people don't think that they're metal enough.
Satyricon?
it was
Yeah.
actually
Oh.
Dimmu Borgir.
It was actually Timo Borgir.
Actually, really, is that the
No, I
joke?
don't.
Oh,
Of all things, Timo Borgir is
It's
like
Cradle of
way
Filth.
less. Well, they're
True.
not. They're not.
They're less
Norwegian.
true.
oh, right. Sorry,
That's-
they're not
that's
Norwegian.
UK black metal. All right. Number 5, Gaul, the former vocalist of Gorgoroth, once kidnapped and tortured a man for 6 hours, collecting his blood in a cup and threatening him to drink it.
Scott Joey.
Christ.
Yeah.
False.
Incorrect, Joey.
God damn it.
So Lynn, I
Yeah,
like what
all of
Jarrell
you
did.
tried
I
this.
like what he did. That was smart. I like.
No,
it.
that keeps it true. He 100% did that.
Ah, dang it.
Gaul is a
Fucking
weird guy who
Sounds
says
like
things
it.
who says things like, "I warn people what I'm going to do to them if they keep bothering me."
That's fair.
Norwegian black metal people are
They don't fuck
are
around,
fucking bananas. Yeah.
Just
Okay,
leave them alone.
Fenris-
That's the lesson we got to learn.
which is always
Just
interesting
let him
because I'm
hang out in the
like,
forest.
well, there's like all that like commentary that like kind of politically it's a bit chill and like they don't have too much to be angsty about. So like the Catholic religion is like what they chose to be angsty about because like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
but-
and immigrants and other
oh yeah,
things.
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's-
they're all
it's-
bad about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
It's not great.
Not great.
So, in spite of
white
all the
supremacists,
socialism,
yeah,
yeah, not
still
so great.
racist.
Still racist. All right, number 6. Fenris of Darkthrone was once accidentally elected to his town council and launched a fake campaign as a joke where he showed himself with his cat that said "Vote for me."
Scott.
But-
Yes.
False.
No, that keeps it true. That is 100%
Whoa.
true.
Who has points?
Yeah. Jarrell still is
Yeah.
winning. Yeah.
Jarrell's got 2. You have 1.
Mm,
And I have nothing.
okay.
All right, number 7. The cover of Mayhem's album Dawn of the Blackhearts features a photograph of the band's former singer dead after his suicide, and pieces of his skull were sent to other members of the inner circle.
Celine, true.
Yeah, that keeps it
Yeah,
true.
that
keeps
Famous,
it true.
famous
Yeah.
part of mythology. I believe Carpathian Forest. The guy has it in a necklace.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
piece of his skull.
Gross.
Yeah. Number 8. The name black metal was inspired by the color of Norway's national flag.
Scott. False.
Jarrell. Correct.
And
why is that, Jarrell? There's no black on their flag.
I knew that.
It's white. It's white and blue. All right, number 9. The guitarist E from the band Watain is a part-time dentist when he's not performing with the band.
Celine, false.
It is false metal. That is not true. Number 10. Nocturno Culto of Darkthrone works as a school teacher while still active in the Norwegian black metal scene.
Scott.
Joey.
Joey.
I would beat you to it. True.
Yeah, that keeps it true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Joey's
One
on
guy
the
was
board.
definitely not a
Point.
dentist, and one guy is definitely a school teacher. All right, number 11. We're almost at the end. We're getting there. The band Enslaved once performed an entire concert using only acoustic guitars and traditional Norwegian folk instruments. This is what the Metalocalypse / Checkered Past joke Grandpa Guitars was a reference to.
Scott.
Joey.
Oh, Joey?
I
I-
will say
go for
false.
That is false metal.
Oh.
That is not true. That did not happen. Okay, and
False
finally,
metal.
Varg Vikernes of Burzum was arrested for plotting to blow up a cathedral, then later arrested for shooting and killing Euronymous, and while in prison founded a neo-Nazi organization, but also released pagan ambient music, and then having an anti-Semitic YouTube channel in France after his release.
Celine.
Yes.
True.
That keeps it true.
E all of the
Keeps
above.
it
E
true.
all of
Yeah,
the above.
that is-
Varg
I
Vikernes,
do
the world's
know
biggest
that.
piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, real piece
An
of garbage.
actual garbage person.
It's a tie.
Whoa.
Oh,
I don't
So
know
I
if
don't
we've
know
ever had this happen
I don't know if
before.
we've ever had a tie.
I don't have a tiebreaker.
look at that!
I
Your
don't
first
have
time
to.
having a
Shit.
puppet. Your first
Share the
time having
win.
a tie.
And,
Nice.
You
and
know
a
what?
puppet wearing a tie.
Oh.
Perfect.
So it's all the universe is smiling down on us. We're all where we're meant to be
So
right
what do we
now.
do? What do we do? We just have a staring contest, Celine, to see who wins.
Yeah.
No, the guest wins. So sorry.
Woo! What's my prize?
Yeah.
What's my prize?
Celine said I was supposed to send you
Being in
something.
the present moment.
being in the moment.
Existing.
That sounds
Nice.
dangerous. Yeah.
Existing. Aren't we so
All
lucky?
right.
The love of podcasting. It's a great
Aw.
gift.
And
The friendships,
the friendships
we made along
the
the
way.
way.
Damn it.
She beat you
Can't believe we
to
both
it.
said the same.
Yeah.
All
It's
right,
almost like you two are related.
Yeah. Nah.
So, fun fact: that game was co-produced by ChatGPT. Thank
Oh,
you,
yeah.
ChatGPT.
We're using AI now.
I used AI to help me do that, and it was. I will say I double checked all of those facts to make sure they were true or false because I cannot count on ChatGPT to tell me the truth.
One thing I
Lie-
learned from
more
South
like
Park,
lie
yes. South Park taught us not to trust that app.
They're not wrong. I don't
Um,
trust it, to be honest. It's scary.
I think it's time to question the answers.
The more you
Yeah.
teach it, the more it knows, and the more it can be used against us.
Huh?
That awkward silence.
Just going off about AI. It's scary.
All right, here we go. Sorry, I was getting distracted looking for my questions. It's asking us what. Okay, K-Moy. This is his alto sax question. Everybody says tenor sax is the best sax if you're only going to have one. Mephiskapheles did it with an alto. What's your opinion? How do we feel on the sax conversation? Alto v tenor v Barry.
I think that's a question for Celine, so go ahead.
I am the horn expert.
Yeah.
It's like choosing your children. You can't really. There's no right or wrong answer.
That's not
And I
true.
love them all equally.
You don't
love
have
them
to say
so
that.
much that I couldn't decide. Gun to my head, could never decide which saxophone I like the most. I'm so passionate about saxophones. Everyone knows this. Could never choose.
Well,
Okay, here's a
as
better
the
question.
horniest one of the three of us, or four of us, I'd say I'm going to pick the baritone as my favorite sax because it's just so damn
Right.
cute.
It is the sexiest horn.
The Barry is the way to go. I think a Barry is like the A tier. I love a tenor too. I know like he's trying to goad me into saying alto, but I do love like a cap down. A cap down has an alto sax where the singer plays the saxophone. I like it, but I don't know.
I
like
liked
the
in all
low end.
those Madness videos when he played that.
The tiny,
little tiny
the toy saxophone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. Kicks.
Or when he was floating in the air on that baggy trousers video. That was a cool
Yeah.
sax solo.
That
is my favorite sax.
and that's an alto saxophone.
Well,
Yeah.
It's,
you go.
it's sexy.
There you go.
It's sexy.
what
as they say.
saxophone is the Lost Boys guy playing?
Probably tenor.
Tenor?
I would assume so. Yeah, it's standard size.
I've never watched that movie.
You've never even seen that part?
Oh,
Like,
You've seen the sweaty, shirtless, naked saxophone.
I'd probably
Yeah.
got it in my
Guy.
head. I don't know if I
Yeah.
want
There's
to
no
see
way.
that.
And it's also been referenced in like every
Are you gonna
show.
ask a question?
Robot
What,
Chicken.
Joey?
Ask a question about
Which
Lost Boys.
Which puppets definitely listen to ska?
Ooh.
Mm. The only the coolest. Right?
Yeah, that's a very good
That's
answer.
correct
Actually, that's a
answer.
That's the
perfect
correct
answer.
One that wears like black
Um,
glasses like this.
Fozzie, for sure.
Fozzie's got ska energy.
Ska
He's a ska
energy.
kid for sure.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
pork pie.
Gonzo too.
Yeah, Gonzo definitely.
No, because he likes Cool in the
Right.
Gang. Because like the movie that's like about him when he like they have like Cool in the Gang, or I don't know who sings "We Are Family." Maybe it was Celebration.
Cool in the Gang sings
Or is that
Celebration.
both
What?
Cool in the Gang? Are those
Yeah.
both? No, Cool in the Gang does.
Celebration. Yeah.
Yeah,
But who does We Are
Celebration.
Family? Who does We Are Family?
Sister
Is it
Sledge,
the
I
That,
think?
no,
White Guy?
that's is it? No,
Yeah.
is it Sister Sledge? Yeah, it may be. Sister
Might be.
Sledge,
I'll
yeah.
have to see what the final scene of the Gonzo
And
movie, the Muppet movie that really
Celebration.
Muppets from Outer Space.
Oh,
Oh,
I see.
okay.
That's what
What?
it is. Yeah,
That's not one I've seen.
because we find out
much.
Gonzo's
Yeah.
an alien. Spoiler
That's
alert.
Rob. You gotta see it.
Whoa.
It's like the 9th best Muppet movie of them all.
I got to make my way through like 4 through 8.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think I got to see them. I got to see them do that caper, and I got to
The
see
caper?
them take Manhattan.
Oh, you haven't
feel
seen
like
that? They
Fizz
get
would
married
like
at the end. Oh, I spoiled it. Sorry, but there's a wedding
no.
at the
Yeah,
end.
I don't need to see it now. I'm good.
Oh, I've seen them take Manhattan.
You've seen them
I've
take
seen
Manhattan?
that one, yeah.
I've definitely seen them the movie, and
Yeah.
I've also seen them.
And the Christmas Carol.
I've seen
See
the
that
Christmas
one
Carol.
too.
Scodlings, like podlings from the Dark Crystal. They'd like ska.
Okay, is that where you're going?
Podlings. Yeah, I feel like they
okay.
have a little bit of. They'd be like, ah.
I can see them.
I did a little
dancing.
like, yeah, they're definitely gonna dance to a
Sure.
ska band.
I don't know, Ewoks. Is this we're just naming
Nah,
something?
no,
Any-
they would like folk metal. They'd like Fintroll.
They would love Fintroll. They would love Corpaclani. They would love Ailstorm.
See, this
They
is
would
what I'm
love
saying.
Ailstorm.
Yeah.
Totally.
What about Baby Sinclair from the Dinosaurs? He probably likes ska too.
Not the
mama.
Skama.
Actually, the
not
little
the
kid.
See,
Not the-
Jarrell
That was
liked
good.
it.
Yeah, that was good. What was the?
I was
what
gonna
was
say
the
the teen with the mohawk.
Yeah, I
He'd
was
be
gonna
into
say.
that.
Oh,
I bet
yeah.
he was into Third Wave.
Yeah,
For
Yeah.
sure. He
That's-
seems like
He has
someone who
rancid.
listens
He
to
likes
Less Than Jake.
rancid.
Real
He
big fish
listens
energy.
to
Yeah.
Less Than Jake. For sure.
His name was Rob too.
Uh,
Robbie Sinclair.
Whoa.
Oh yeah,
There it
Robbie.
is.
That was,
There it is.
Yeah.
We've cracked the code. Would you rather be a master of puppets or a pastor of Muppets?
Mm.
Oh, deep. Well, I don't like to be a slave to anything, so I'm going to pick the other one, the
Hell yeah.
pastor of Muppets. Like
A
I'll,
Muppet
I'll,
pastor sounds like the best pastor to be.
I'll speak
Yeah,
the
if I'm
word
gonna be a
of,
pastor.
yeah. You know, I don't want
Speak
to
the
bite
good
off
word
from
of
palate or
Satan.
anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. They will come after you. They love their money.
They are highly litigious.
Yeah, they have
Lars,
lots of lawyers.
Lars is listening to this episode right now.
They're
waiting for
always
us to
waiting.
violate a copyright.
I bet
Every
like
time
the
they
first
mention my name, I'm going to sue.
Yeah.
Copyright infringement
Uh,
every time.
Master of what? Sorry? Is what he's going to say.
Yeah, that's right. Remember when Weird Al did a song about Lars suing people? That was fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got only a couple more. What puppets do you have beef with?
Mm. I have beef with the puppets from that horrible Melissa McCarthy movie, but it's not their
Oh,
fault.
yeah.
They were just they want to get a
Doing
check,
it.
and the
They did their best
Happy
with what
Time
they
Murders was pretty shitty film.
had.
So I guess I have a beef with them and the Fraggles too.
Oh no, not the Fraggles.
No, we're
That's
pro.
Canadian.
What about? Are you out? Like, are you
Hot
saying that
take.
because you're on like the Doozers side and you feel that the Fraggles have enslaved the Doozers?
I'm now feeling that.
Yeah, that's the only way that I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, I
Now
love the
that you've said that
Fraggles,
out
but
loud.
I've never felt good about the Doozer situation.
I like the trash
I've never felt
person,
good about it.
and I like the dog, and I'm not sure how I feel about anybody else.
Red Fraggle's legit. Who's the little guy? The fun like who's the dude? Who's the stoner Fraggle? You know
Joey,
what I'm
just
talking
looking
about.
at Joey.
I don't remember.
You know what? The little guy. Wilby? Wilby?
Doesn't matter.
Wilbo?
Jarrell has a beef with them.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
All of them up,
To
all the
blanket
Fraggles I have a
it's
beef with.
all of the Fraggles.
You're on the
That's a-
monsters side because the Fraggles are always stealing radishes out of your garden.
Just eat them already, and let's get this show over with. I always said.
Which run of Greg the Bunny is held in higher esteem in the puppet community?
There's so many seasons from Greg the Bunny. How do I pick? I'm gonna go with the first season. That's the
And-
best
and
season of them all.
I mean,
if I had to rank all the seasons of Greg the Bunny, it would be 1. And
now,
yeah.
how do you feel about those seasons of Crank Yankers where it was puppets and they were like doing the crank yanking?
Oh my God, love
when
crank
they were
yankers.
yanking cranks.
Yanking crank. You got to yank the cranks. Got to make those fake phone calls and get people upset.
Gotta yank the crank.
Jimmy
I
Kimmel.
Boober.
Was Goober the
Boober was the name
Touchtone
of that.
Terrorist.
That was
triangle.
very important.
Yeah.
Touchtone Terrorist. Elmer
Touchtone
was
Terrorist.
great. What was that? What was that guy that Adam would play? What that old dude that would just get mad? How dare you? How dare you? Got his name, but he was great too. Mitchum or Bitchum or Kitchum. Bitchum.
If it's Adam Carolla, I would assume it's Bitchum.
Bitchum, yeah.
That seems on brand.
Oh, hot. Throwing shade at Adam Carolla.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
after us. Come after us, Adam Carolla.
Yeah.
Come after me,
Try.
Adam Carolla.
Try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With your millions of dollars.
We have puppets now. Try.
Crank Yankers came
the
back,
last but
but I
not
did not
least-
see it. But it was a good show in the past.
Comedy Central. Am I right? In the late 90s, early 2000s.
You are correct.
There were some hits. There were some hits.
The last from our friend Chip. What kind of ska would Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem play?
Hell yeah.
I guess they would play ska core. Or
Yeah.
All right.
ska in the morning, ska at night.
Maybe kind of like a 70s like Fleetwood Mac-y ska.
Some
Like
kind of
Fleetwood Mac
disco ska. Would they
Oh,
disco? How would you say disco?
I actually do think you're right. I do think it would be a disco ska vibe.
I'm
Yeah,
going to put a plug in for
That's accurate.
For the Sesame Street Disco album. It is incredible. It is much better than the Sesame Street Punk album.
Yeah, and it's better than the Disney Disco album too.
It's not as good as
But I left my cookie on the dance floor. Is top tier.
nothing's as good as
I believe this song's called "Me Lost Me Cookie" on the disco.
Yeah.
Me Lost Me Cookie in the boogie music.
You got it.
I want it
Yeah.
back.
I had cleaned it up to be understandable.
Is that bacon Jamaican?
I mean, not doing Cookie Monster's voice. I'm being respectful of Cookie Monster's speech impediment.
Cookie Monster should be
bacon
doing-
Jamaican.
No, he's a death metal singer at heart. You know,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's the original.
Yeah.
the OG.
That's all the questions I got. I thought that's great.
Yay.
Jarrell, let's throw
All
it
the
over to you.
questions that I got.
What do you got to plug?
All right, everybody, make sure you listen to our podcast, Perspective Podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, our YouTube channel where we give our videos and you can see our beautiful puppet faces. We not only do album reviews and television show reviews and 1 minute movie reviews by our other co-host with his Mitch Movie Minute segment, but we have a special thing where we do tributes to celebrities and musicians before they pass away, because everyone waits till after they die. We do them before, and we rank different people. So we've done one for Michael Winslow from Police Academy, to Bat Mike to No Effects, to you guys would love this being from Canada. We did a one for Eugene Levy, ranking all of the American Pie movies that he was in. And
Excellent.
we
That's good.
just recently did. Yeah, we just recently did one for another Canadian legend, Lorne Michaels, ranking all 11 SNL movies. So check that out on our thing.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's fun.
Yeah.
It was tough.
I'm curious where. Yeah, I'm like thinking about it.
Mhm.
Night at the Roxbury. I feel like if you look at it critically, it has like the worst rating. But in my mind, I'm like, that's one of the best movies ever made.
Oh no, there's worse. There's worse movies than
Yeah,
that.
it's bad.
Oh, yeah,
It's
definitely.
bad.
Superstar probably doesn't hold up well.
Yes, you
The
guys
Molly
check out.
Shannon one.
Check
Anyways,
out
we
the
gotta listen
video.
to that episode.
You
Gotta
can
listen
watch
to
the
the
video
watch
on
the
our
YouTube.
YouTube channel. And yeah, so we do shows every other week, and we have our videos popping up every so often. We not only review mainstream artists, but we do underground artists as well, local artists from here in New Jersey. to local artists in your home state. So send off your requests in, and we will do a video reviewing that album. So if you don't mind getting your feelings hurt or getting some praise, check us out.
Perfect.
Oh,
Awesome.
by the way, we are on all the social platforms, Public Perspectives on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And we have a Patreon, should promote that, where we do retro reviews. Only $5 a month to get access to our monthly retro reviews, where we pull an album out from our past and we are embarrassed that we actually listened to it. So, yeah.
At Puppet Perspective.
So how many Prozac albums do you talk about on there? Because that's probably what I would talk about.
We all picked our first albums. Like, do you guys remember the first album you bought? And
Prozac.
we all started with that. Prozac.
Not just
you.
Yeah.
Not just a drug. But I did the Simpsons Sing the Blues. Yeah.
Simpsons Sing the Blues. That's
good.
Yeah, I had that one on tape
good.
for sure.
Yeah, so we kicked off that last year with that show. Everyone brought their stuff out. So by the time you guys hear this episode, we have already did the album I bought, Butt Trumpet. Probably never heard of that, and that's there'll be a reason for that. But I'm going to let my co-host, I guess, dunk on me about listening to Butt Trumpet in 1997.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, hit
us
up on
awesome.
Hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Checkered Past Pod, or send us an email at checkeredpastpod@gmail.com to support the pod and get bonus content, including a full-length and unedited video of this episode.
Which you will want of this particular
this
episode.
in particular has the video component.
Sign up for the Patreon and watch this episode and then cancel it.
Yeah.
I mean, forget about it for
they get charged on the next month, so wait a month. Give us $5 and then cancel it. We also have did I say the website? I don't think I did. Patreon.com/checkeredpast. We also have merch available at checkeredpast.ca. Checkered Past is edited by Ariane and engineered by Joey. And our associate producer is Chris Reeves of Ska Punk International. And until next time, I'm Rob.
Celine.
And in the mortal words of Mephiskapheles, my baloney has a first name. It's CP/SC.
Whoa.
All right.
Bye, patrons.